Hello, hello. Welcome to EdFest. Day
Yes.
two. Good to see you back.
Good to see you guys. Okay, let's see who's here.
Cool music.
You know, we just like it
Prize is
that much.
starting now. It's game day. All right.
All right, let's see. We have Kirsten from Minnesota. Hi, Kirsten. Benjamin from Turtle Lake Wish.
Hello,
Wisconsin.
hello. Welcome to EdFest. Day
Yes.
two. Good to see you back. All
Okay,
right.
that was my fault. I was like,
I love
how is
it.
this happening? She's like a ventriloquist. She wasn't
Happening everywhere. All right. Well, we're back. We're here. Welcome again, everyone. Please tell us where you're coming in from. We love reading where you're from. Hey, Christina. Yeah, we're live.
This is awesome. Massachusetts. Alicia, where do you live? I live in Beverly. We're neighbors because it's not a big state.
Let's see.
We got Crystal from California. What part of California? So you just got out of school, didn't you? Kirsten from Minnesota. Nice.
Bath, New Hampshire. Milford,
Wow.
Ontario.
Jessica from Lubbock, Texas. I've been there. I had a friend in the Air Force, and I remember flying a simulator there in Lubbock.
I'm from Long Island, Croatia, Montreal.
Croatia? Wow. Obsessed with those guys
I've been
from
hoping to
Croatia
get
that play the cello.
Croatia.
Cello guys. He knows what I'm talking about. Atlanta, Georgia. My sister lives in Atlanta. From Bath, New Hampshire, Nicole. Beautiful up there. I go up there all the time. Nice.
Florida. All right. Well, as people keep pouring in, let's reintroduce ourselves in case you're new today to EdFest. I'm Ilea Lichny from Genially. I work on supporting our community of educators and students, which is a job I could not love more. Erica, what do you do? Or actually, what don't you do?
I know, I'm pretty busy. I by day I play a digital media teacher, a middle school, and a digital learning coach, and also lots of other things. But at night I play a green screen gal. That's what I'm known for in my mindfulness webinars. But if you want to learn more about me, yesterday we had a big old intro, but I'm so happy and grateful to be here, especially with this one. I hope I'm pointing at you.
You are. We got it.
Somebody from Hungary, Judith from Hungary, someone from freezing New Jersey, Jessica. I don't know if that's a joke or real.
Chris used to live in Dedham, Massachusetts.
I saw somebody from New Zealand, Beth. Okay, that's
Love from
exciting.
Virginia. Oh man. Okay, I'm so excited to be here for day two. If you missed the sessions from day one, they've been recorded. Yesterday was about one of our favorite topics, social emotional learning. And if you missed it, check it out. You're going to see Erica leading us in some chair yoga, which was awesome. Big highlight for me. And also to stay up to date on everything post EdFest, please go ahead and follow us on social media. That way you don't miss anything and all of the goodies that are going to be coming out after the event as well. I am still reeling from yesterday's sessions, which is funny because they were all about like mindfulness and peace, but I feel like I got so hyped up that I'm still coming down from that. And Erica, I have a bit of a trap for you today.
Wait, what?
In the spirit of our gamification theme. I'm not kidding.
Oh my butterfly. What are you? Oh gosh, what is it?
Well,
what is
it? Well, I don't think it'll be too bad. I did kind of want to spring it on you live because I think it's funnier and we know each other well enough. But okay, I'm going to keep you in suspense a little bit longer because first I want to ask our teachers, tech coaches, everyone here one question, which is, what's a game your students love? We're going to read you in the chat.
And also, if you actually have links to the game that work well with your kids, please share them.
That would be great.
We would love that in the chat as well. Awesome.
Let's see what's pouring in.
Let's see what we got here. We're in a little bit of a delay. Freezing New Jersey is my favorite one. All right. Well, I know my students love, Kahoot and Quizlet, but there are a lot we're going to learn about tonight that people are going to go nuts. Blookit. Yep. Blookit's a good one.
Breakout I don't know about Blookit. What is
Blookit?
It's
good. It's good. But after tonight, they might all change your mind. Gimkit. Yep.
Gimkit.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Cool.
These games are awesome. I'm definitely going to try Gimkit with my kids. So, Eiley, Kahoot, yep, Uno. Oh, these are good.
Oh, I love Uno. Have you played Dos?
No.
Spin-off
Dose?
of Uno. It's really fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Highly
What'd you say?
recommend. Highly recommend Dos to everyone who has
I'm
tried Uno.
scrolling from Nearpod. Kahoot. Genially, yay, Amanda. Bamboozle. I have to try all these. Mini Benga, Time to Climb. Okay. These are awesome. Wordwall. Thank you all for sharing. Oh my goodness. But Eiley, honestly, what is this surprise? You're making me nervous.
Well, so here's a
You
hint.
got-
Okay. Friends in our audience, have you ever played an escape game or breakout?
No.
That's what I have for you. Yeah. Okay,
Oh no.
Erica, today I have a short and sweet escape game I've built with one of our templates to see if you were paying attention yesterday and to
Great
get us
goose.
through some of the stuff that everyone should know.
Oh no, you're kidding. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, no. I'm
Okay.
gonna pass it to you. Wait, I'm gonna pass it to you internally, and I
Okay.
want you to share your screen with us, and we will get through this together.
Oh, okay. So, well, folks, I think I'm gonna need a little help here. You're killing me, girl. I will be desperately or having her read the chat box for answers to the questions if anyone else was here. Where is Van when I need her? So
I'll read them out.
share. Okay, I got it. Let me share
Okay.
my screen. Oh man, what are you doing to me?
I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I think you'll like it. Also, we cover some of the stuff we usually talk about in our intro. It's important, so it's a double win. Okay, here we go.
Oh my goodness, this is cool, but I'm nervous. I'm excited at the same time. But you know what? I'm sorry. If you're gonna mess with me, I gotta put on my game. I gotta put on my game gear. All right, here we go. All right, I got my Genially buttons and
Are you Viking
I'm ready to
Erica?
go.
Awesome.
I brought this just in case because I had a feeling you were gonna mess with me.
This
Okay,
is
folks.
why I wanted to be with you
help.
today.
I need help.
All right.
Did I click it too soon?
Now we're good. All right, escape imposter. Alert, alert.
Okay, an alien has entered our ship and is trying to replace before he takes control of everyone. We cannot return to Earth until we are sure that he is not one of us. All right, ready? Ready, folks?
Okay. Are you ready, Erica? Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
So now you click
here
the
we
little
go.
arrow. All right.
Oh, God.
Close the door.
In your panic, you have forgotten the password to close the main hatch of the ship. Answer the security questions correctly to close it. All right. Let's see. Bring
See what
it.
you remember.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
What did the A and Kathy and Seth session a Genially care package for SEL stand? You remember? I know you really loved that session.
I did, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer.
Breath or awareness of thoughts and feelings?
You know, they kind of touched on both, but there's one that they definitely touched on that I know, and I'm going to click on attention to breath. I better be right.
You're right.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Part of the door. Cool.
Yeah. I really like this game. I use this one a lot. Okay, Jenna Lee says we can improve our communication with our school community by. This one's kind of hard.
All right, folks, I need help on this one.
Do you all remember?
Fan, but I was probably doing something behind the scenes. Let's see. Being visible, checking in. Gosh, they're both good.
I'm reading from people who are saying they use the escape. They've used this breakout.
Okay, no one's helping me answer the question.
Natalie, they're leaving you alone, friend.
All right, I'm going to try one.
Worst case scenario, you can take a guess.
All right, I'm going to take a guess. Checking in. Oh, that was cool.
Try again.
All right. Being visible. They both sound really good.
To be fair, they were both reasonable.
Yeah, sorry, Genially.
All right, yesterday during chair yoga, Erica said she should have worn better. Glasses?
I know the answer. I don't know if anybody here. Oh, see, people are answering now. That is a delay. She said she was checking in. I did, and it was wrong.
Thank you, Marianne.
Anybody know what I said yesterday? Probably not.
Someone else also chose checking in, by the way, Danette Green. So you're not alone in that.
Okay, well, so I did wear better socks today. I got my sushi socks on. Anyone? All right, so I'm going for socks. I'm not getting another one wrong. Very competitive. Yeah. Right. Close that door. Close that door.
You're all right. Natalie said socks. Jessica said
this
was a memorable moment. Amanda, Jan, people fun, all socks. Okay. Yesterday, both Seth and Erica talked about relaxing by using coffee or mandalas?
Ooh, well, I know the answer to this because Miss Trisha Fugelstad, if she's here, was part of that. I know she knows the
She's
answer. Do
here.
you guys
She's
remember what
here.
kind of yoga
Fugelfun's
she
here.
does in the morning? Did anybody answer?
Not yet. We're still
Well,
having socks. We might have the slight lag here. So maybe give
that's
it
all right.
another 10 seconds or take a guess.
Well, I know what it is because.
Oh, well then say it. You've got
All
this.
right. Well, it was coffee. All right. She does Keurig yoga. It's 1 minute to brew your coffee of 1 minute to do stretches. They'll be in my slideshow.
And Seth's was, do you remember Seth was talking about, what was it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Coffeetivity? It was something like that, but he was using like
Oh, that's
background
right.
cafe sounds to relax.
That's
And I thought,
right. I
oh,
forgot
okay, here we
about
go. Fun, coffee, Chantal, mandalas. Yeah, it was kind of split. That
Those
one
are
was
great though
difficult.
because they did talk about coloring pages for that. So, all right. So I got one wrong. All right, but all right. I'll forgive
I'm
myself.
loving this. Okay, please keep going.
Okay. All right. So this is cool. So this is what you would do if you had this template. You would have more rooms and things. This is ready to go. You just pop in the questions. It's super, super great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
made this in about, I think it took me about 5 minutes.
5 minutes and ready to go. And I feel like that is a game changer when pun intended. Oh,
All right,
God.
let's get into room 1.
Okay. Oh,
Click in
there's
there for
more.
me. Yeah, there's more.
Oh, I didn't know there was more. I thought that was it.
No. Okay,
Oh, man.
identify the imposter. Point out the crew member who is not telling the truth. So you're looking for the not lie. I'm like, it's not really a lie, but okay.
My
Well, this is
session
a lie,
is
actually.
today.
Matt
Who
Miller and
hasn't
Carly
answered?
Mora, Rochelle Danae Poth, Sam Carey, and Becky Keene. Who is not today?
Well, I know the answer to this because she's a
Go
friend
for
of
it.
mine, and I hope I'm right.
Yep. So now you search
I
for the
got it right?
alien. Yeah.
You dragged the light.
Rochelle is tomorrow, which I'm super
Yeah, she's
excited
in
for
it.
a session, by the way.
All right. See, these are working. These are
The
working.
future.
Oh.
All right, so you drag the little orange light now around
Uh-huh.
the alien. Look for around the body. There it is. Okay, now you click on the alien.
Oh, this is cool. You can tell
All right,
that I have never
room
seen this
2.
before. Okay, I'm going quick. All right, sorry. I didn't realize there was more. To enter our prize. Oh, go ahead. You
To
read
enter our prize draw and win an Edu Pro plan, share an image of something you've made or learned at EdFest, add the hashtag Genially EdFest, and tag the speaker or speakers, or watch a Hallmark movie and share your favorite moments with us. Which of these is not a way to enter our prize draw and win an Edu Pro plan?
Well, I kind of want to see what happens when you get the wrong answer. So I
Okay.
picked the. All right, so try
No
again.
aliens here.
All right, so I'm going to say watch a Hallmark, even though that's.
Wouldn't that be funny though? Okay,
Yeah.
here are the
Ooh!
actual directions for entering our
What is
prize
this?
draw. So everyone watching, you want to explain it to them?
Yeah, make sure you share screenshots and takeaways. So maybe not this one. Share takeaways and use the hashtag, please, or you can't be in the prize. Hashtag Genially EdFest and tag the presenter, please. And also, if you're not watching this live, I shouldn't have had that coffee. If you're not watching this live, you can still post them through the night till tomorrow because you'll still be in tomorrow's drawing. So
Exactly.
post away, especially if you make something that you learned.
All right, we've got it. Look for the alien.
Oh, wow. This is funny.
I know it's elaborate. I click on the alien.
I love this.
Oh gosh,
right.
we're almost going to reach the end. Let's see if we can make it. I don't know if we can.
All right, I know. I just realized.
Here's an awesome way to return to your breath. You've got this one. Okay. Learning Be Real from your students or breathing bubbles?
Breathing bubbles. I need one.
So you choose the one that's not true.
Oh.
Or you're looking for the lie. I know that.
I'm terrible at the lie game.
Drag it around.
Okay, come on, alien, find it. We got to get out of here.
I think it's lower. Check the arm. I'm not trying to help us now. There it is.
Middle school. This could go all kinds of wrong. I'm sorry.
The alien. Oh, good. We're making it. Okay.
We're making it. We got this.
Everyone, I'm so excited. We're actually making it through.
Don't worry.
Okay, you just click the last person because there's only one person left. Sessions will be available after EdFest is over. Yes?
Yes, they will. Look at that, dude.
Get your participation certificate for 8 hours at EdFest. Pull an all-nighter. Check in the chat at the end. Okay. And who's our first speaker of the day? Who's our first speaker of the day? And we did it.
Today?
today.
Oops. Sorry.
Of a session, of a
Sorry.
session.
I get confused about the lie.
I love it.
Very good. Good.
Okay, we did it all. Here we are,
I thought
and
so.
we're just in time because it is time for the fantastic author, speaker, and educator. The list goes on. Honestly, she does everything. Becky Keene. Becky is going to show us that gamifying classes doesn't have to take a lot of time, and she will walk us through how to turn templates into gamified activities without getting a headache. Here we go.
You're right.
Becky.
Hi, everyone. My name is Becky Keene, and I am super excited to be joining you at Genially Ed Week. I'll be talking about how to gamify your classroom activities with Genially templates. Now, the exciting thing about this is it is so incredibly simple to get started using Genially to gamify your classroom. Here are some things that I'm going to talk about with you today. First, we're going to talk about what is gamification. That's a big part of this presentation. It's really important that you understand what is gamification and how you can use it to benefit your students, because the better job you do setting up a gamified lesson, the more success you're going to have. Then we're going to talk about the 3 different categories that Genially has built-in templates for gamification: quizzes, games, and escape rooms. Finally, I'm going to show you how to use interactive elements as part of any Genially template, where you can gamify to your heart's content from any template that exists. Finally, I want to make sure you know how to connect with me. Let's get started. Games give us unnecessary obstacles that we volunteer to tackle. This is a quote from Jane McGonigal, the author of Reality is Broken and Super Better. She is the grandmother, if there was one, of gaming, and she applies her knowledge to gaming and education. Students are going to be more interested in doing something associated with a game because of the game mechanics involved. They're going to be interested in solving tasks, solving riddles, breaking out, and doing all the things that engage them in learning. We can use this to our advantage in education when we consider how to design lessons that engage students differently. Here's some more information about gamification. Gamification is the process of using game mechanics, elements, and principles and applying them to non-game contexts to engage users better. What does that mean? It means that we use the things we know about games, like failure and difficulty, and the fact that we want to try it again, rewards, those types of elements, and we use them to engage us in content that isn't normally a game, like math or social studies. Some other examples of game mechanics are goals, status, community, education, and rewards. These are all things that we receive as a benefit of completing a game. Maybe it's a status in your classroom. Maybe it's the fact that someone is a gamer of the week. Maybe they've learned something. Maybe they've gotten a star on a chart. Maybe they've earned some points towards a goal that they're made. All of these are options that allow us to gamify education. Now, effective gamification uses player-centered design to create a pleasant experience while achieving a purpose. That means we have to think about our players first. We have to think, what resonates with my students, and how can I engage them in an opportunity to learn and grow by gamifying some content that really makes sense to them. Your games will not do as well in your classroom if you don't consider who your players are and what they're most interested in. All right. In education, we want to tap into intrinsic motivation while offering extrinsic motivation. So that means we're training our students that learning something new feels good and practicing content can be exciting by offering them something outside of themselves first. Maybe it's points or badges or rewards. It doesn't mean that we forget about intrinsic motivation. At the end of the day, we want our students to be excited to learn and grow. We want them to love reading and practicing solving problems and being a learner in a 21st century classroom. But sometimes to do that, we can give them some extra motivation to get started that helps build those positive habits into our classrooms. So let's talk about gamification inside Genially. One of my favorite ways to gamify classrooms in Genially is an escape room or a breakout room. Breakout rooms got kind of a different meaning during COVID closures, so it's easier to call them escape rooms, but I hope you know what I mean. It's where you're solving clues, looking around a space, trying to answer some questions to unlock, open, or otherwise access new information that at the end awards you with some sort of a prize or the fact that you've escaped, literally, the physical room. Quiz shows ask students to correctly answer questions to advance in the game and earn points. There's a couple of different ways to do this, and we'll look at them inside Genially. The last thing I want to point out to you is interactive elements. Now, keep in mind that anything can be gamified with interactive elements. This allows you, as the game designer, to reveal content, link to content, and connect elements through any Genially template. Interactive elements give us lots of options of possibilities, and that's a way that you can add to or morph any template that's already in the game. All right, so the easiest way to get started with this is to start with a template. In fact, this whole presentation started with a template. In fact, it was incredibly simple for me to get this presentation off and running because I had a template to get started with. It makes my life all the more simpler. So let's take a look at what this looks like. If you go into Genially and go ahead and log in, you can go to your panel. You can also go ahead and go into templates. I'm going to head there now. You'll notice that there's tons and tons and tons and tons of free templates inside Genially. In fact, right now there's over 1,000. There's an entire option for games and quizzes. So let's take a look inside there. We've got 3 different categories here: quizzes, games, and escape rooms. Now you might have another view of this kind of menu of templates. Yours might look a little bit like this. So this is when you're already logged into Genially and you've gone into creations and you just choose new. This gives us this gamification menu right here. So either direction, you're going to get to the same content. But I want to take a look at this gamification option right now. So remember I talked to you about there's 3 different categories. There's quizzes. If I scroll down, there's a lot of them. Games. And finally, escape games specifically. So we're going to jump in and take a look at one of each of these 3 different types of quizzes and games and escape rooms, just to give you an idea of how to get started. As I'm giving you a little example here, I want you to be thinking about how this aligns with your curriculum. So whatever it is you teach, whether it's physical education or coding or social emotional learning, or one of our core content areas like math or science, arts, literature, all of these things can be gamified by building them into a game template. I also want you to consider the fact that students could be creating these Genially quizzes. In fact, I have a personal story about that. Just a few years ago, my daughter was a 3rd grader, which in the United States is kids that are about 8 or 9 years old. She was tasked with creating an interactive class activity for her students in her class to learn more about a national park from here in the United States. I suggested Genially, so she came in and created a national parks quiz in Genially for all the students in her class to take at the end of her presentation. The teacher distributed it to the students through their learning management system, and all the kids were able to experience a fun, interactive, gamified learning quiz based on what she presented in class. It was a big hit. So your students can be doing the exact same thing. Let's take a look at this Pixel Spaceship quiz, just for fun. I'm going to choose this template. One of the things I can do is get a little overview of the template ahead of time, which is really handy, but I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in, which is kind of my personality anyway, and choose to use this template. Now, what's great about this is it loads all these pages already here in advance. Now, if I'm not going to use some of these templates, then I can simply delete the pages. But be careful with that because you might end up breaking some of the links because all of this is already created for me. So, for example, the start button is already linked ahead of time to page 2. So if I go ahead and delete page 2, then the start button needs to be updated as well. So one of the things I like about this is the opportunity I have to just fill in the blank. So this tells me here, I'm going to type in my question. What is the date today? Right? And then I can put in wrong answers and right answers for my students to select. So I'm going to put in a wrong answer, October 31st, the right answer, which is November 15th, and another wrong answer. I'm going to go with December 1st. Now, all I had to do was type in a little bit of information, and Genially already has the template set so that when we preview, I'm going to choose the preview button, this activity, the links are already set to go. So what is the date today? I'm going to choose one of the wrong answers, October 31st. And this takes me to, oh no, the aliens have invaded. It's the wrong answer. I'll go back and try again. This time I'll click the correct answer, November 15th. And that takes me to the next question, which I haven't written yet. This is an opportunity for students to feel good about progressing through the quiz. Could they just click everything until they get the right answer? Absolutely, just like any other online quiz program. Is it keeping analytics in the background? Nope. This is simply a way for students to practice their learning. If you're looking for something that tracks like points, this is not the place for you. We're here to just engage students in gamified learning. Down at the end, you can see when I finish this quiz, they reach a congratulations menu. All of these things are animated already, so I don't have to do any of that hard work from the beginning, which is pretty awesome. There's lots of different opportunities for quizzes in the game. So some of these are really simple. Others of them have pretty detailed content or ideas that allow you to think through how your students are going to engage with this content. So for example, here's a flashcard quiz. This is using images and giving you the opportunity to have students have that interactive flip back and forth feeling in a digital environment. So for example, this is already set up to look at the image and then get information about the image. So I'm going to go in here and go ahead and preview it so you can see what this is going to do. Because this is set with a button, flip, notice it's set with an animation as well that flips it over, and now I have information on the back. I could clone these over and over, right? So how would we do this? Well, first of all, I can replace this image anytime. I can do that through the Genially illustration libraries. I can upload a file from my computer. I can use a publicly published, appropriately licensed image that I found out on the internet. I can grab one from a cloud drive and so on. So let me go in here and I'll just go to Pixabay and I'll just go ahead and choose one of these images. Let's do skyscrapers. And that replaces that automatically. I didn't have to resize it. I didn't have to drag and drop. It's just built right in, right? Then I'm going to come over here and choose to replace this one as well. And I could navigate back to it, which is just easy because I already have it here in Pixabay, or I could copy it from the last slide. Then I can change this text, okay, and give information about skyscrapers for my students. Now, what if I want to add to this activity? Or I could have students collaborate by adding collaborators to this Genially. And we could all put together a class flip chart, maybe to share with someone else. It's really pretty easy to do that. So first I'm going to duplicate the first page that has the image on it. And now I can replace and just, choose a different graphic for this one. Let's choose this umbrella lady. She looks like she's having a great time. And then I'm going to duplicate the answer. Okay. Now, remember that I told you the links are going to need to be updated. So let's take a look at this link. What is this going to, this button? It's going to next page. So in this case, it's not set to, for example, page 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's set to next page. So this button is still going to work. I don't have to update it. Let's check the button on the following page. I'm going to click on the button itself and notice that it's told to go back. So it's going back to wherever it came from last, which means I don't have to update this one either. The thing that I do need to update is giving this one a next button, because right now it's just going to go back to the previous page. So what I'm going to do is click with my mouse and drag and copy all of these things together. I'm going to go up to my tools here, copy, then I'm going to paste. There we go. And drag that over. So now I have a next button also, and I'm going to call this one next. I'm going to move this arrow. That arrow doesn't work anymore, does it? Because it is going backwards. So I need to replace that arrow and have it go the other direction. So now it's flipping to the right, which is the direction I want it to go. I'm also going to change the interactivity. So in this case, instead of back, I'm going to go to next page. You can see I can also choose to go to a specific page here, but in this case, it's just easiest to go next page. Then, because this bothers me, I'm going to scoot these over and use my alignment tools to make sure it's dead center, right? And now this is going to go to the next page. So let's try it out. I'm going to go into preview here, previewing my activity. Okay, looking at the image of a skyscraper, flip. Then I've got some information here. It all animates in beautifully. I can go back, or my new button, next. And that takes me to the next information. So this is working exactly how I hoped it would. One thing that I can do here is encourage students to keep track of their learning, and I can give a reward slide at the end of this activity. I can also allow students to take a separate forms quiz based on their learning here, and then gamify that with points or stars based on how they did. So this is helping students prepare their knowledge and also create some new knowledge around what they're doing in their classroom. Pretty interesting stuff. All right, let's go back now to our template page. Whoa. I'm going to go to my panel, which is where I have all of my Geniallys lined up. I'm going to go create Genially, and then go back into that gamification menu. This is one of my favorites, as I talked about. So we've taken a look at a couple of different quiz options now. Oh, this is one of my favorites. We have to check out Trivial. This one is just has a lot of visual to it, and it reminds me of Trivial Pursuit, if you ever played that, with the pies and everything. So it just naturally makes me want to learn more. What's fun about this one is I get to go in and determine quiz questions, just like some of the others. This one is set up like Trivial Pursuit, film and music first. Gives us some answers with some gifts. Now this is something that I want to point out exists inside Genially, which is pretty fun. You can go in and use Giphy to look for all sorts of animated GIFs that might match your presentation, which is really fun. As you go along, if you get the right answer, you get a little color wheel checked off. So this is a great example of gamification, where by the end, students have checked off all of these boxes. And for those of us who love checking off boxes, this is a really good thing. At the end, they get to the awesome job screen. You can adjust this however you want. What's amazing about this activity, if I go into preview here, is that I don't have to do any of this as an educator. It's already set up for me. So all I have to do is go through and change some text, and automatically my students have access to a fun little gamified quiz that they can do anytime. Again, students can also make this, which frankly just makes me happy. So All right, let's go back into my panel and back into gamification. I got a little distracted because I remembered about one of my favorites, which is the trivial quiz. So I'm going to go back to gamification now and scroll on down to the games. So these are options that give you just kind of a suggestion on how to get started with a game. It's not necessarily the same as a quiz, but it gives you some ideas on how to show students something interactive. Now, one of the things that I want to point out is how much these look like some common games that students might already be familiar with. Like this one looks a lot like Monopoly. One of the reasons for this, Loromopoly, is to give students I'm just totally familiar. I was blanking on the word there. Give students a familiar understanding of the game. Kids get excited to do things that they feel like they already understand. So Jumanji, right? These are giving them little examples of how it can feel really comfortable, whether it's sorry, or this one reminds me of trouble, getting to go forward. Now, some of these templates are more complicated than others and are going to take you longer to set up. Battleship, Snakes and Ladders, Connect Four, Olympics, all these things kind of guide you. Oh, Guess Who is a new one. That's a favorite, right? Guide you to setting up this game that kids could do on their own. I also like the fact that students could create these to show you their understanding of maybe a video or something they read in a book. They can work together on this as well. So this is a really great way for you to fill in this information and determine how your students are going to play the game. Then they can come in and actually move and play the game as you go along. So this is the ultimate in creativity, where students get to determine what to do to play this game, how to move forward, and then they can actually play the game as a digital environment instead of having a physical game board. So let's preview what this looks like. You can see there's a die built in here, interactive element, right? It's telling them where to start. So depending on the rules, my student rolls the die, they get a 3, and then they can move their character along. Now this can be done on an iPad, Chromebook, PC, Mac, it doesn't matter. Any device that students have with an internet connection, they could be using their fingers to drag these along. And what's really fun about this is the opportunity that you and your students have to use this for any possible game and then determine the rules and what it takes to win. You might have flashcards here. You might have one class competing against another class over a virtual call. There's tons of different ways that you can use these. And the best thing is you didn't have to make this. You just have to determine what to do with it once it's there. So these are the types of things that really get me excited because it's not a lot of work for you as an educator, but it's a high impact for your students. So let's take a look now at the last category. The last category is escapes. Escape rooms are pretty cool. And one of the things I like to do with escapes is give more opportunities for students to find clues. So I'm going to take a look with you at Chaotic Kitchen. This is one that I've used before. And I'm going to show you how you can use interactive elements to add some special details to this activity. So in Chaotic Kitchen, because I've used this one before, it starts off with some clues. And again, I can modify these to fit however I want. I can change all of this text. But one of the things that's really fun with this is it starts giving the students clues on looking around the space, just like as if you were in a physical escape room where you have to look for clues and then read the information and go figure it out. So let me show you this in preview mode to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. And I don't have sound going right now, but if you heard it, you would hear like little flames cooking the food. So I click start. Here's my first clue. You'll notice when I hover over the interactive element, it grows to tell me like something is here. Look at the note on the fridge. And when I hover, I get that indicator with a little shake. Hey, there's something waiting for you. Click on the note and it pops up. Something interesting going here that I would then have to read. Then I'm going to answer questions about it with correct and incorrect answers. If I get this option correct, I move on. If I get it wrong, I have this wah-wah information right here. So inside this activity, I want to give you a little more suggestions. So how does this work, right, with the note? How is the note going to know what to do? Well, there's a couple of things happening here. One is an animation. So I'm telling this piece of content, hey, I want you to, when you come in, I want you to enter with an automatic information, but I also can tell it, hey, when a mouse hovers over you, I want you to pulse. Okay, and that's going to tell the student a little bit more about it. So let's preview this right now. Okay, here we go. So now when I hover, it's going to actually shake and pulse a little bit. Something is here, right? And then when I click on it, it goes to next page because that's what I've told it to do in the interactivity. So using animation and interactivity together, I can give students some clues in the room. So another way to do this is to go ahead and take this page inside the Genially. I'm going to duplicate the page. Then I'm going to drag this down here. Okay, so let's say they've got 2 questions about what they saw on this note. But now I'm going to give them some new information. I'm going to say, look for something hot. Okay, now with that, I'm going to take off the note because we don't need those anymore. And I'm going to come over here to the tea kettle. Okay, now the tea kettle is part of the background. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to choose a color that matches the tea kettle background. Okay, and then I'm going to choose what to do with this. So in this case, if they go to the tea kettle, I'm going to add an interactive element. Maybe I'm going to add a tooltip. Here's what this looks like. It's text that pops up when I click on the element. And I can format this text however I like. I can also add information here. I can add an image. I can even add an entire video. So what if I recorded a clue for my students and dropped it in here? I'm going to name this tea kettle because if you get a lot of these stacked up on a page, you're going to want to keep track. So now I've got a tooltip here, right? And when I go in, I actually need to make this a different color. I want it to match. Let's see, I want it to match the tea kettle, and I'm not getting that color right off the bat, am I? No. Okay, hang on. There we go. Okay, so that'll be good for now. Oh no, I clicked off it. That's funny. Okay, hang on. We'll go back to this one. Okay, so let's pretend I have that matched. I don't want to take the time to do that right now. I'm going to go in and say, look for something hot. Now, when the students are looking, this text pops up when I come near the element. Now, this is hover. I want it to go when I actually click. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that interactivity, okay, I can choose it to pop up a whole entire window. Tooltips are for hover, but I can do a window option, small. Okay, and that is going to hover pop up when I actually click on it. So let's test this one out. Going in here, look for something hot. And then I'm going to hover on this on the tea kettle. And now when I click it, it pops up with that element. So this is really, really exciting because I can add to this escape room venue and give the students more clues that they answer along the way. Now these are multiple choice, but I also want to show you there's some other possibilities here that are built into the template. So this one is a drag and drop where I would then sort my content, okay, by dragging it around. And then I can use a window pop-up to show the right solution and check my work. There's another one further down here where now this check mark is here to tell you where to put the right answer. When you replace this picture with something else, that will go away. Here, I'll show that. There you go. No more check mark. So when students are looking at this one, all they need to do is click on one of the two images that match, and then that is going to take you to correct or incorrect. So it is so simple to come in and duplicate this room as much as you want, add clues all throughout, then give students an opportunity to answer questions. Here's another question type where they can, with one image, check yes or no in there, and then get to the end. When they get to the end, they have this nice cooking in the kitchen congrats screen. So these are some ways that you can go in and create information for your students that really add some excitement to their learning. These have background audio built in. Everything is ready to go for you. I also love having students create these on their own. Don't forget that students can work in teams. So all they have to do is add another student to their team, and they can go ahead in and work together on the Genially live in real time. That is super helpful because if they're working on this project together, one of them might be at home working on it, another might be at school. Maybe they're working together on two different devices. They also can go in and leave, oops, sorry, not that, and leave information for each other to work on this as they are going along. So really important to think about how students could work together on coordinating this Genially template for the two of them. So let's go ahead and check on our list. We've talked about gamification. We've talked about quizzes and games, escape rooms. We've also talked about interactive elements. The last piece of this is how to connect with me. And I actually did this on purpose, believe it or not. What I wanted to show you is how to add a page to a template if they're not there. So remember when I first showed you templates, we had 1 through 20. They were all built in, all ready to go. And I said you shouldn't delete them if they're already linked, use what's there. In this case, I don't have all the pages built in. So I'm going to choose Add Page, and look what pops up. From this template environment, I have all these different templates that are already built in. So this is an opportunity to realize that if you've deleted some pages, it's okay. You can get them back. So to add a thank you or connect with me page, I'm going to choose the last one in the template. I'm going to drag this to the end. Okay. I'm going to choose, oh, thank you. And what I could do is go in and choose how each one of these elements is connected to me personally. Fortunately, all of these are connected to my name. So if you go to beckykeen.com, here we go. I'll make this a little bigger for fitting it all on one line. I'll use my alignment guides to center it up. I could go in and connect each and every one of these to a link. Okay. And so in this case, I'm going to say, no, I want this to open in a new tab. And I can paste in my Facebook URL, beckykeen.edu. Right? And now this one is going to link straight out to my Facebook. I can also link to my LinkedIn, Becky Keen, Twitter, Becky Keen, YouTube, I'm not super active on, but I could link to my company, and Instagram, Becky Keen EDU as well. Now, one thing I did not show you is all the other interactive ideas. So let's take a look at those right now. I showed you tooltip and window. I also have go to page, which we talked about. I just showed you link. This one expands to a full screen view. Just that image expands to fill the whole screen. So if I wanted students to like zoom in on a clue in an escape room, I could use that one. Audio allows us to play music or a voice recording or a sound at that moment. This is a really fun one to include in escape rooms as well, because you could say, listen here, and then insert an audio recording of a clue. Reveal is brand new, and this is one that allows us to do kind of a PowerPoint, Google Slides-esque reveal. So let's say I wanted to have the BeckyKeene.com come in at the end. Then I would say, okay, I want to reveal this content. Hang on. Whoop. I want to reveal this heart and accept. So when I click on here, this heart is going to appear. And that's something that is brand new to Genially, allowing us to give really interactive pieces within the environment. So now when I click on Becky Keene, that last heart pops up and it's all animated and ready to go. So this is a great way to add clues as well, where we could go back to our kitchen example, have students click on a kitchen element, and then have something new appear on screen. I really hope you've enjoyed our time together today. I think that Genially has so much to offer. The best thing that you can do is just start digging into the content that's there and see how you can take your gamification to the next level. So thanks for joining with me today. I hope that you've gotten a lot out of this, and let's keep in touch.
Wow.
Wow.
Becky's
My brain's
amazing.
spinning. I have so many ideas.
Thanks, Becky.
And Becky, thank you. I can't wait to try it. Chaotic Kitchen. That's so cool. So, Miss Eiley.
Yes,
So,
Erica.
I had a feeling you'd mess with me on game night. So I made a little quizzy for you, my dear.
Is that why you told me to leave this break open, Erica? All right, everyone. Erica said that she needed a few minutes for something, and it was a surprise. Is this what it was for?
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise.
gosh.
So
Okay, what is
a little payback? But it's a quiz. We'll see how you do, and I think you're going to understand why I picked this one. So get your game face on, girl.
Oh my gosh, what is it about? Wait, I have a thinking cap. Let me put that on.
Oh my god!
I don't know if this is gonna work over the mic. I think it kind of works. Okay, we'll
right.
pass it over, and I will do my best. Audience, please help me. I don't know what this is.
Okay, you get it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm seeing it now.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I'm worried.
Let's go for it. You should be.
Okay.
Let's see if you can figure out why.
What does that mean, quiz? I have so many questions for you right now.
So many
okay.
questions.
Let's hop right in. Start.
Okay, you're gonna tell everybody.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I know what this is for. This is falling off. Wait. Okay. This is this is
Tell
funny.
them why.
Okay. This is because I have a story about LOL. LOL means I'm reading light of my life, laughing out loud. So I have a really close friend. I can't believe you're doing this. Okay. I have a really close friend who is like the nicest person I've ever met. Like could maybe be the number one nicest person I've met in my entire life. And she talks like this, and like everything about her is so sweet and so kind, and I love her. And she thought that LOL meant lots of love. And then her friend's cat died. And she wrote
No.
Okay, so she writes an email and she says, like, hey, I'm so sorry for this loss. I know how much your cat meant to you, and like I'm here for you. Anything you need. She's like offering help. And then she signed off LOL and then her name. Okay, but I know what LOL means.
Now we can say LOL to that, but
LOL.
Oh, I'm sorry. What are some of your favorite acronyms, folks, or stories? Feel
or like weird ones. I feel like Gen Z is exploding the world of acronyms right now, and like I don't know what half of them mean. So every time I talk to somebody who's a Gen Zer, I just sort of like I'm in awe. Okay, laughing out loud. I've got this one. What's next?
All right, what else we got?
AWOL. Okay.
I'm trying to remember what it is.
What does AWOL stand
absent
for?
Without official leave, a warrior on leave, or always waiting on lunch.
Okay, so absent without official leave sounds like it's the answer. A warrior on leave, that's one way to put it. That's really funny. Always waiting on lunch, that is me. I am AWOL if that's waiting on lunch. Okay. Absent without official leave. Final answer. Locking this one in.
People
Also,
are
I'm just
cracking up. They
checking.
have
I want
stories.
to see if I can read the chat. Love the realness.
Yeah,
It's
they
life.
said, laughing out loud, love the realness. It's life. Absent without
Absent.
leave.
Thank you for help, Jan. Absent without official leave. Okay, good.
Oh,
GOAT stands for.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got. GOAT stands for go on a trip, girl on a throne,
Love that.
greatest of all time, or grinning on a tugboat.
Well, you
Yeah.
are creative. You are creative, Miss Erica.
I'm teaching middle
you know-
school all day, so what do you want?
Go
I
on
don't
a
know what
trip.
comes
Like
out of my mouth
go
after
on
that.
a trip. Also, I feel like that's like get out of here, right? Like go on a trip. Go take a walk, right? Go on a trip. Girl
Mhm.
on a throne. That could be real. I know it's greatest of all time, but I'm like girl on a throne and greatest of all
It's what
time.
happens.
Those are both Simone Biles, right? That's who I think of with GOAT. So
Yeah.
greatest of all time. Grinning on a tugboat. Okay, I also want to know. Well, I was gonna say I want to know what happens if I get the answer wrong.
Yeah, go ahead and try it. This is
Okay,
such a fun template.
not
Isn't this
quite.
cool?
Try another door.
I
Enjoy
love
this
that
chance
key.
to
I was
explore
like,
another
"Woo."
option. Oh, okay, I like
Absent
that.
without official leave.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so cute.
Okay, so greatest of all time.
And then when you win, you get to go on. So NASA stands for
Wow.
National Airspace Association, National
Mm,
Aeronautics and Space Administration,
that sounds good.
National Astronaut Space Association. I'm not making this easy for you. National
Nope.
Aeronautics and Space Association, or
Oh,
not
man.
another stupid
These are
assignment.
getting significantly more difficult.
And this is not the not question.
I'm like sweating. Okay. I'm like, okay.
You're sweating?
This like feels like star testing. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here. But I'm like A, B, C, D, E, and then I'm looking to see, I'm like, okay, 3 end in association, which makes me think it ends in association. Anyone know the answer to this? I really don't know the answer to this. I don't know if it's option 2, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or if it's option
Maya said she
4,
was shocked the first time a kid shouted
National
out.
Aeronautics and Space Association. Is that an association? Okay, I know there's a little delay in the chat. I'm kind of just waiting for help.
Yeah, she needs help.
I was shocked the first time I heard a student call a teacher GOAT. That makes greatest of all time. Then I use that to teach students eres la leche. Yeah, which literally translates as you are the milk, right? I love that. Okay, you
I
think
think
it's number 2.
someone said.
All right, let's go with that.
Let's do it.
I hope we're right. Yay!
Got it.
Okay, final one.
I wanna win.
Thank you, Christy and Azaroff class. I've
You
never
ready for
seen
the
this
next
one.
one?
I've never seen this one before.
Okay, DT means better than doing taxes.
Ooh, which
I
is
like that.
everything. Okay, everything's
Be
better
the
than doing
diva
taxes.
today. I know, right? Be the diva today. That's a good one.
But that dog, though.
But that dog, though. But that dog, though. Be there. Don't try. That sounds familiar to me.
That sounds like if Yoda were here today, like in modern
Yeah, exactly.
times, you know? What is it? Do or do not do. There is no try. Something like that. Be there. Don't try. Okay. What else have we got?
Exactly. It is a Yoda thing. Before the deadline tomorrow, or been there, done that.
I have literally no idea. Okay. I'm gonna go with Jan. I think it's been there, done that. That would be awesome. 6, which has also been there, done that. Okay, we're gonna go with been there, done that. Final answer. This is great. This is like what is it? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And you phone a friend. You ask the audience. The audience. Okay, been there, done that. Thank you, everyone. Good to know that somebody's using these. Congrats! You made it out.
Some of those I'm like, did I write that? Like,
You
my
were
brain
inspired.
You can tell me, I'm like, just get it out. That was hilarious.
You were deeply inspired. Enjoy the view of the great outdoors with all your favorite people here at EdFest. Thank you, everyone. You have helped me survive this hilarious quiz.
Yeah, you guys are
Thank you, Erica.
Forget the right answer. Go with diva. I agree. I was gonna say that, Christy. I'd say it's a diva thing.
I like the dog one, but it's 6. Can you imagine?
I know.
But that dog though.
But that dog though.
Okay. We did it. We're out of the woods. Okay. And actually, wait. I think it's time for something now. Not just something, but someone. Guess who's up next? New EdTech classrooms. Sam Carey.
Sam
here with
Carey's
us.
awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing. And everything that he is doing over at New EdTech Classroom is awesome. He's going to be showing us how to create different choice boards to give our students what they want. What do our students want, Erica?
Options. Choices.
Let's go.
We'll go with
All right,
options.
Sam.
They do.
Hello, my name is Sam Carey. I am the founder of New EdTech Classroom, and in this presentation, I'm going to be showing you how you can amplify student agency using really cool choice boards that we're going to make in Genially. Now, we're starting here on the Universal Design for Learning framework, and the reason for that is because choice is a key element of creating universally designed lessons. Now, if you're not familiar with UDL, basically it's a lesson design framework that is intended to help us see how we can create lessons that are more relevant, authentic, meaningful, and accessible for our students. And when we take a look here at the guidelines, you'll see that choice is really baked into this entire model. So we are supposed to be providing multiple means of engagement, multiple means of representation, multiple means of action and expression. And when you look at all of the individual categories, they all say that we should also be providing options. Now, I think this idea is great in concept, but sometimes can be difficult to implement because we don't have tools and strategies for how we provide choice in all these different ways. So I am going to be returning back to this framework just to point out the different checkpoints that we're hitting on when we're offering students choice using different types of choice boards. There are some choice boards that I think are more typical and some that are a little bit more atypical. So I definitely want to make sure to highlight those. We're going to start here with a choice board that really just gets to this initial idea of how we can offer multiple means of engagement, providing some element of choice and autonomy here, and doing so in a very kind of low lift way, both for you and your students. This is a kind of choice board that you could get started with right away. So this is an example of an explore board. An explore board is essentially a board where students can just poke around, they can check out whatever it is that they're interested in. In this case, we are essentially giving students one variable that they can choose from, and that variable is which portfolio do they want to look at. So we're all looking at portfolios in this case, obviously, but students can choose if they want to look at one in, this program or that program. Now, the way that this particular choice board works is that I'm just going to click on one of the images and it's going to take me over to that actual link. So there's nothing embedded here. It's just taking students over with a hyperlink to that particular portfolio to check out. And this is really easy to set up. So these choice boards here are actually all remixable, all the templates that I'm showing you. You can do that by reusing this Genially, clicking on that little recycle link on the bottom right-hand side. And then that's going to take you into your Genially account where you can edit that template however you would like. So one of the things that you'll notice once my little Genially icon stops going, all right, is that the images already have interactivity on them. And we can tell that by clicking on it, and you'll see here where it says link. So the interactivity in this case is just to link out to another page. So when I click on it, you'll see that it's going to pull up the link to the portfolio app that I'm sending the students over to. And you'll also see that there are some other options here for how we could add interactivity to this choice board. And I'll be going over those in a moment. So all we did here is click on these different images. We added a link to make those interactive, pretty straightforward. Now you'll notice that some of these do not have interactivity. So the names of some of these other programs, for example, like actually Genially right here, which is one cool option for making portfolios too, does not have an interactivity option. So if we wanted to send students just to Genially, we could just click that interactivity option, then click on link, and then we could paste our link in here for Genially, make sure we hit save, and then it's going to now be a live link where students would click on the logo and it will take them over to the page. It's also something to be aware of when you're setting these up, that they're not all necessarily going to be clickable and actually send students where you want them to go. Now, the other thing that you probably noticed when I showed you this is this really cool animation that comes in when the Genially shows up. And that's something that I love about Genially. I think makes their presentations, their infographics, all that kind of stuff super engaging. So a lot of these are pre-set up with these animations. And in fact, all the reusable templates are going to come with those preset. You could just leave them be and they'll be there. But if you wanted to adjust them, you can adjust every single element basically. So you can do that by clicking on the animation icon here. So just right next to the interactivity icon, click on the animation icon, and that's going to pop up this little menu on the right-hand side. So right now you'll see that it currently has an entrance automation. That entrance automation is to fade in. And it's cool that when you hover over it, it's also going to show you what it looks like. So you can see if you wanted to check out some other ones, we could change it. You can change the speed of the automation. And then there are some other different things that you can also do. So if you wanted it to be continuously moving, you can do that. We also have a hover mouse animation on this particular image. So when you hover over it, it just kind of lifts up like that. And the way that you set that is simply by clicking here on hover. So you can tell that it's on with that little yellow dot. And then we selected one of these hover effects, which again, you could see what they look like by hovering over the effect here. So this is a really easy way to make your Geniallys look extra special. And like I said, the templates often already come with these pre-built, so you don't even need to adjust them. But if you wanted to customize them and have them have a really cool, like special look and have fun and get lost for hours playing around with it, you could definitely do that. All right, so this next example here is very similar. This is also an Explore board. This is a little bit different though, because we built this in or using an interactive image. So this has an image as the background, and then we added some interactive elements over the top. There are some pre-built templates I'll show you, but this is also very easy to create just from scratch. Now, another difference here is that when you actually click on these different interactive icons, you'll see that it's pulling up what is referred to as a window. So the interactivity here is a window that pops up, and then it's going to have some text, it has some links, it has some images for each of these. The concept is the same, where we're all studying one main topic, but students, or in this case, teachers, can choose the subtopic that they want to explore more. So in this case, the topic is how do we create a more universally designed classroom? We have different subtopics people could explore to go learn about those different things. And what you do with that is up to you. If you wanted to just have that be an intro type activity, or it could be more of a jigsaw activity where people are actually bringing back something that they learned to the rest of the group, really up to you. But I do want to show you here real quick how, when we reuse this Genially, you can set up these windows and how you can add some different interactive elements to it if you want to. So all we did here is we imported an image in, and we could actually do that here by going to add a new page, and then you could start with a blank one, and then you could go here to an image, and you could just bring an image into the background. So that's pretty standard stuff. I'm not going to go over that right now. However, I do want to show how when we click on it, how we got that little window to pop up. So right here, you'll see that there is an option for window interactivity. And when you click on it, you'll see over here on the left-hand side, it's one of the interactivity options. And you'll see that basically all we did is we put in our text, we formatted it the way that we wanted. We brought in an image by clicking insert image. And then we also used some hyperlinks. So down here for the image citation in the article, we just highlighted the text that we wanted to highlight. And then we went up here to link to insert that link. So again, also relatively straightforward stuff here. Now, the only real difference between this window and the tooltip is that the tooltip is just going to be a smaller window, whereas the window is a little bit bigger. So if you ever have like an image or you have some more text, video, things like that, then I would just recommend going ahead and using the window. All right, so let's say that you did bring in an image and you wanted to add some new interactivity here. You can go over here to interactive elements and you can search for something that you want, or if you just wanted to add something, well, we can actually see what they have with all these different buttons here. So let's say I wanted to add something like this clip. You'll see it's going to bring that in. I can resize that however much I want. I can change the color to be whatever it is that I want. And in this case, I could actually just duplicate this text if I want to add some text. But to get that interactivity, what I'm going to do again is click right there, and then I'm going to add one from scratch. So I'll just add window, and then I would type my text. I would import my image here or my video, whatever it is that I want to bring in. And then that's going to pop up as a interactive window when somebody clicks on it. Again, if I wanted to add an animation, I'm going to click animation there. And let's say I wanted it when you hover over it, I want something to happen, like maybe it gets bigger. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do that to set that up. So also really easy to set up and fun to do these interactive images as a different version of a kind of explore board. So those are really easy choice boards to get started with. They really just touch on this recruiting interest, optimizing a little bit for choice and autonomy here. And they don't require really any pre-teaching. You can just tell students to kind of explore and check those out. Now, a next level one here would be one of these pick a resource choice boards, which is really like a multimedia text set if you're familiar with those. So the idea here is that we have a topic that we're teaching students about, and we want to offer them some choice in how they're going to access that information. This aligns with the middle column in Universal Design for Learning with providing multiple means of representation. And here we're going to specifically be helping to illustrate different concepts through offering students multimedia options. And in this case, we might all be studying one topic, climate change, but then students can get the key ideas from some different types of resources. And maybe the expectation is we all still can fill out a similar graphic organizer, but we're going to go to different resources to get that information. Now, for these, all we did as well is simply add a link. So when you click on it, it's just going to link over to the other website where we want to send students. So again, you can do that with the interactivity and adding the link. I don't know why that's not opening, but let's see this one. Okay, yeah, you got it. Website. I would recommend when you are doing a choice board like this, or a multimedia text set like this, that you do still spend some time teaching students how to use these different resources. And you might even want to consider how you can optimize those different resources. So just putting them on a choice board isn't necessarily going to be enough. We also need to make sure, like if we look down here too, for like providing options for comprehension and things like that, that we're also helping to guide information processing and we're helping to scaffold comprehension. So I will make sure we include this template as well. That includes some ideas for some other programs that you can do that in. So if you have videos, if you have screencasts, things like that, and you want to add like questions into them, then you can do that, link out to those so that students have a way of like self-assessing. Did they get the key ideas in a video, in a screencast, even in a web page that you send students out to. So just another way to kind of elevate the level of your multimedia text sets and help students have a greater sense of autonomy because they can even see like, am I getting the key information as opposed to just dropping a resource in. Now, this next type of choice board is about giving students options for action and expression. This is that third column in Universal Design for Learning, really providing students with options for the actual tools that they would be using. This is, I think, a less common strategy to use in a choice board, but one that can be really powerful. So we're over here to options for expression and communication, using multiple tools for construction and composition. And in the case of this choice board, we are giving our, again, teachers in this case, the option when they're learning about the visual alphabet, which is what we're teaching here, to Sketchnote, giving them the option to use paper, to use a laptop, to use an iPad. Now, in your case, you may not necessarily need to do all three. Maybe you don't have tablets, but even to give the choice of here's how it will be done on paper versus a laptop can be really empowering for students to be able to make that choice for themselves. And these types of videos, when you make them, they're evergreen. You can reuse them potentially year after year. So all we did here is basically for our interactivity, we embedded videos where, turn the volume down, where essentially I am explaining how to use the visual alphabet here to be able to sketch out some things, to do some sketch notes. So the idea here with this choice board is really that we're going to allow students to choose, right? Which tool makes the most sense for you? How do you want to go about tackling this with a certain set of tools? But it's scaffolding that as opposed to just kind of giving them this wide open option. And the videos also help them to understand for themselves, like why they would want to do that. For this one, what we did is we actually took an image that I drew in just a regular digital whiteboard program and downloaded that image and then uploaded this as an image. So in the very same way that we created this choice board here with an image as a background and then drop some interactive elements on top of it, that is how we created this one here. So you can also do some cool kind of a little bit higher level stuff. If you want to draw things in other programs and just import that as an image background, you can do that and make these fully custom choice boards too. Now, this is one that we built off of a template. This one has a cool animation. And this is another choose a tool choice board, except the difference with this one is that we are choosing, allowing students to really choose a response tool. And this is based on having already taught students how to use these different response tools. So I probably wouldn't just roll out and say you can either use one of these three tools for text annotation. My inclination would still be to teach those tools separately. And then after we've taught them and used them and practiced them in different ways and talked about why you would use one over the other, then students can go through the process of starting to select a tool and which one they would want to use for their own annotations. Now, in this particular case, we also embedded a video, except notice here that this video that we've embedded is a Loom video as opposed to the other one, which was a Vimeo video or a YouTube video. And those are easy to embed, but the Loom ones are not quite so easy. So I'm going to show you a trick for how to do that. So let's say here that we wanted to embed a video. I'm going to go back here to the window. And I want to go up here to insert video. Now, if I just have a regular old video, where's my YouTube? I didn't pull that up. Okay. Let's say I have a regular old YouTube video like this awesome one that Tom made. We'll pull this one in. This is very easy to close some of these out. So I know. All right, there we go. Okay. This is very easy to bring in. I'm just going to go up here to insert video and I'm going to paste that link, insert, and it's going to put the video in. So that's simple. You can even check the box to have it autoplay, things like that. Now, if I try to do that with a Loom video, I'm going to copy this link, go back to the editor, go to insert video. You're going to see that an error message is going to pop up here. So there's a little trick, and the trick is that you're going to go to the video, go to share, and instead of the link, get the embed code. Now, if it's in Loom in particular, you need to go here to fixed size, get the fixed size video as opposed to responsive size. Otherwise it won't work. Go to copy embed code and then go back here, go to insert video, then right next to the link, it says embedded code. Click that. Then you're going to paste the embed code, which is basically an iframe code. You're going to insert it, and now that Loom is going to show up. So this is a way you can embed other things like Loom video in here and be able to kind of hack it a little bit to get your screencast videos to show up in the window, which I think is pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to hit save there, and let's check out this choice board. Which one do I want? No, this one right here. Okay, so this is a pick a project choice board. And I would say this one is getting more toward the advanced side of the choice board options, because this is the type of choice board I would highly recommend that you build up to. Now, picking a project, picking how you show understanding does align as well with multiple means of action and expression, particularly down here, options for expression and communication, and using multiple tools for construction and composition. However, if we just kind of plop all this stuff onto a choice board, unless you have kind of set things up in a different way than I ever have, for me, that never would have gone all that well. I needed to make sure that I had taught these different projects to students first. We had really understood expectations and how to do them well, because they all entail different things. So particularly if you're working with younger students at all, I would highly recommend doing the projects individually and then using this as kind of a goal that you would arrive to in the second semester of the school year. And then providing students with the ability to choose how they're going to show their understanding. So regardless of how you set it up, I would recommend that you are providing some scaffolds with your interactivity. So in this case, what we did is we added tooltips as opposed to the windows, because these are very small. And these are just links. So this is a link out to a graphic organizer. So, okay, we're going to make a digital comic, then we're going to give you this graphic organizer that you're going to use in order to help you with making that digital comic. Similarly, we're going to have a link over to a video tutorial, and we're doing that really for all of these so that we have some tutorials, some graphic organizers, some supporting documents that you can use in order to do these particular projects. So that would be something I would recommend to add for your students. Now, this particular choice board is actually, I'm gonna show this one first because there's something I want to talk about with that one. Okay, so this is a choose your challenge choice board, and choosing your challenge aligns with the UDL checkpoint down here to vary demands and resources to optimize challenge. So if we click on it and kind of look at it, it's interesting, I think, to see how they describe the importance of differentiating the degree of complexity, and how what's really important is ultimately getting to the same path, but we're going to provide some different pathways or the same end destination, but we're going to provide some different pathways for how students are going to arrive at that destination. And this type of choice board is really effective for that. I think sometimes, I know for me, this idea that I would just openly provide all the scaffolds to everyone was something that initially made me nervous. It made me feel like maybe students that don't need the scaffold will choose the scaffold. Maybe students that are not ready for the advanced will choose the advanced. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to see that students who you might not think would push themselves to try something advanced, they feel comfortable doing that. And so rather than kind of pigeonholing students by selecting and saying, okay, you're getting a scaffolded version of this, or, this, you're getting this particular support, we're just going to make those available for everybody. So like in this case, for the simplest one, for making a choice board, which is what this is about, like we give people some pre-created templates here. This is the easiest thing to do. Just take the template and borrow it. Next level up is making some choice boards in Genially, which is, it's a little bit higher level difficulty, a little bit more advanced program. And then these next ones are, hey, just watch the video on your own. There's no template, or make this more advanced type of choice board, which actually I'm going to show you in a second, which is a choose your own adventure choice board. So that's something that, maybe we haven't even covered in class yet. We're just going to show you kind of what that's about. And if you want to take on an extension type challenge, then you can do that. So the choose your own adventure board that I was referring to is this one right here. I don't think this has an animation. No, it does not. Okay. And this one is really cool. I think this is basically a choose your own adventure type game that's going to direct students to a particular place. And what this one is about is helping teachers learn which programs they might want to use to optimize their text-based resources. So actually, like if you're going all the way back here and thinking about, okay, we have some text that we want to add to a resource choice board. How do you optimize that for comprehension to make sure that it's interactive, things like that? So let's say, for example, that we have a screenshot that we want to optimize, and then we're going to have some questions. We're going to direct people to a program that they might want to use in order to be able to do that thing. So, and then they can go back, to home if you want to start over again. So these are also pretty straightforward, pretty easy to set up. I don't know why. Where's my template here? Hold on. Strange. All right, let's go here and I'll show you how this works. So I'll just go right into it. So basically what we've done here is created an internal linking system. So instead of having the interactivity be something where we are creating a pop-up or a link outwards, the interactivity, you'll notice, just goes to another page. So if you click PDF screenshot, it's going to go to page 2. So we just set up page 2 to be basically what we want on page 2. And then it's going to go there. So if you click go to page here, then you can select which page in your presentation you want to direct students to. And then when you add the elements of the different animations, so you can see like these actually have a page transition, which is different from the actual image transitions. This is a transition for that entire slide. That's how we're getting these really cool effects where, it's a nice like slide in transition. And then these have an animation for their entrances when they come in. So if you look at, let's see, this one here, and then if we're going to click on these, you'll see that each of these has an entrance animation where it's fading in and it's fading in coming up. And so that's how we got it to have that look. This is a reusable template as well. So if you want to just kind of borrow this and use it so you don't have to build your own from scratch, then you can do that. Now, I wanted to show this one right before showing this other choice board, because there's something really cool that you can do in Genially that makes it extra special for making choice boards. So this is essentially a pick a topic choice board, not that dissimilar from the main topic with subtopics stuff that I showed earlier. And this one is about a broader topic of why teaching creativity is important. There are 3 articles that relate to why teaching creativity is important. And then, so if you click on one, it's going to take you out to a link. And then we also included a Padlet activity here so that people, after reading the article, could process those ideas and, in this case, build a mind map doing this activity in Padlet. Now, this is great and all to link out to those other pages, but you can actually do this internally all within Genially without needing to use those links. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So just like we use the internal page logic for that Choose Your Own Adventure game, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up to add a page, and I'm just going to add a blank page. Now, what I need to do in this case is go over to Padlet, and instead of sharing the link, and I'm showing Padlet, but this applies to like tons of other programs. So I'm going to go up here to share, and rather than get the link, I'm going to get the embed code to embed the blog on your website. Now, notice that this is an iframe code. So what that means is that basically it's putting a standard generic iframe code around a link to make it embeddable. And this is actually a hack that you can use. So if you just Google search iframe code, it gives you a generic iframe code, and you can try putting that around any shareable link. And chances are pretty good that it's going to work to embed in Genially as well. So even if an app doesn't actually give you the embed code, you might still be able to use it, it was a fun hack that we figured out on my team. So all you need to do here is go to insert. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to insert others and see the little code icon. And I'm going to paste in the iframe code, click insert. And now you're going to see that Padlet is actually going to show up directly here. So I'm just going to scale this over and make it fit. Now, instead of having this right here be a link, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. So rather than a link, let's go to page, and we'll go to page 2 and click save. All right. So now let's see. I'm going to check this out. I'll private, and we'll share it and see what happens here. All right, so we want to read the article and then go to Padlet as opposed to like clicking out externally. So we're going to click that, and boom, it's going to take us over to another page in Genially with that Padlet embedded that we can actually write on. And as students are adding, they're going to see all of their additions show up here, all their posts, and they'll be able to collaborate right here in Genially without having to go over to another program. So I love this embed feature. It actually allows you to do so many awesome things. And it is one of the many, many reasons why I love Genially for making choice boards. This is such a cool program and allows you to do just really fun stuff. Now, I just want to show really quickly here where a good place is to get these different templates. So if you go to Create Genially, one of the best places, I think, to find the choice board templates, at least where we found a lot of them, is in the infographics section. And that's because just a lot of these have these different, or a lot of these infographics have these templates that have different boxes on them. And these are very easy to just transition into whatever it is that you want to revise them to be a choice board. So whether that's a timeline that you want to change that into a choice board, you can even see down here some of the ones that we use, like this one that we modified and made into a choice board, and this resource one over here that we made into a choice board. So all this stuff that we've taken and made into choice boards, it's all based on these templates with the exception of the images that we added as backgrounds. So you don't need to build them entirely from scratch. And of course, we also included, we're going to make sure that you get all of these templates and stuff so that you can just click that reuse button on the bottom right-hand side and start making amazing choice boards yourself so that you can start to amplify agency in your classroom. So have fun. Check out Genially, make some cool choice boards. And if you make some, especially if you make some with this, any of these templates, I'd love to see them. If you want to share them with us, you can find out information, our email address, all about what we do at newedtechclassroom.com. Let us see your cool choice boards, share them on Twitter and stuff like that, because we would love to see what you make. All right. Thanks so much for watching this presentation. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have fun making choice boards in Genially. Oh, my name is.
Hello. Hello. I
Hi.
loved every minute of that session.
Look what just
and I'm
showed
going
up
to start
now.
making more choice boards. Oh, wait, I have my volume way down. Here we go. Okay.
Look what just showed up.
Is it working? This is your new headset?
I'm laughing because I'm sitting here reading the directions and you're like, we're on live. I'm like, wait, what? I wanted to look like Britney Spears too. I can't figure out how to
You've
work it.
kind of achieved it. You just need like maybe even a higher ponytail.
Oh, I know. I had a little issues with that, but I just wanted to look like Brittany too. Plus, I thought my voice, I'll use it tomorrow once I figure it out, but I'm going to have
We
to
can start
become a
learning the
gamer.
choreo. We can start learning the dances together.
Sorry, I got a little too excited by the doorbell ringing.
I love it. I love it.
Do
Well,
I look like
Erica,
Brittany?
yeah, kind of actually. I think the hair is working for you. The hair is working
Thanks.
for you.
Well,
You
don't
know,
we have some prize stuff to talk about? A
we
prize slide?
do in just a second. We
Oh, okay.
could, you know what, let's do it now. I think you're right. It's a good moment. Okay. Tell us about our prize draw, please.
Okay, everybody. Remember, you can win an EDU Pro plan. Just share takeaways and screenshots of sessions on social media or even some of our craziness at hashtag Genially EdFest. And definitely use the hashtag, definitely tag everybody. And remember, if you're just watching the replays, you can tag through the night because you can win tomorrow. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you for, we did need that. So that was useful. You know, I've been getting a lot of Twitter DMs lately from teachers asking about how they can get some self-paced learning with Genially. So I'm going to take just a few moments to share one of my favorite resources with you all. We have just a few minutes. I want to show those of you who don't know our academy.
Oh, this is good stuff. I love
Yeah,
the
and I know, Erica, you've used the academy.
Yeah, I have. I use the
Sure.
storyboard one. It's one of the mini courses, but it's awesome. Yeah, I like the way it's set up. It's very cool.
Okay, amazing. Okay, sharing my window with you all. Let me make this a little bit wider. There we go. All right, so welcome to the Genially Academy. If you haven't been here before, your first steps are going to be signing up or logging in. You just need a free Genially account or any Genially account to have access to this. You can see I'm already in here. So you have these buttons in the upper right corner. Once you're in, what are you going to do? Well, you can see a little tour of the Genially Academy. You can also see some of the top courses. I really recommend the Introduction to Genially course if you haven't taken one and you're kind of new to the tool. I think it does a really good job of showing you the basics and can save you some time. So jump in there. And if you want to see everything that's available up here, we have the catalog option. This is great because you can look up keywords. Say I want to learn about interactivity. I've put in interactive here and I have these courses available to me. You can also sort by level, course type. I'll explain those types in a second. Sector, education, business, and some of our main topics. Course type, this is kind of cool. So courses, when they're just called courses, those have 7 to 12 pieces, modules in them. And they also include challenges that you complete. And once you've completed those courses, you get, well, once you've completed a course, you get a certificate certifying that you've completed the course. And if you want something a little bit shorter and less intensive, then choose a micro course, which is great if you have less time. And let's see if we can take a quick look at the Introduction to Genially course. You're going to launch it or enroll. I think I've enrolled before. I love this one.
Yeah, this one's really good. Definitely should even if you use it, you'll learn a lot.
And you know, it's good to review because usually there's just 1 or 2 tips you didn't know about and they really change. They're game changers. I love using that phrase today. Okay, so we're in. We're in. We see our goals, description of the course. Here's where I'm going to read a little bit. I'm going to figure out if this is for me in the audience. I know I'm going super fast, but I know you can all come back and take your time later. To move through the course, you're going to use these arrows in the upper right corner. I have lots of little video learning opportunities, making a Genially in 5 steps, first access to Genially, and then I am kind of impatient, so I really like the index here where I can see what's coming. It helps me get motivated because I see what I'm excited about. And you'll see we have a little intro, the basics. I've got these videos, and then Erica's is my favorite. We have challenges. I don't know if the course you did, because it was a micro course, had challenges, but challenges will either be quizzes that you can try quizzes, or they'll actually take you into the Genially editor to practice what you've learned, which I love. So I'm just reusing.
You just gave me my lesson plan for tomorrow, so thank you. Since we're on tomorrow,
covered. Yeah,
you
so
do.
Take you into the editor
for you all.
Amazing. And then here I can try out what I've learned, and I'm testing everything that I just went over in the course. So basically, jump in, take a look at that. if you have not before. And
I just find it so clean, and my students love that too. It's just everything is so clean here. I just love it.
totally.
So yeah, we're ready for some
You know who's
big
next?
presentations to come up. Yes,
Next,
from one great session to the next. I mean, it's just invigorating us. I'm so excited. I'm a huge fangirl. Here comes Matt Miller and Carly Mora to show us how to
not
ditch.
yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
all right.
Next, I've got you. We have digital learning specialist Ashley Spencer to show us how to make breakouts for our students.
Sorry, I was ready for bed. I am
All right.
so sorry, Ashley. That's what live does to you. I just, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ashley. I'm excited. Okay, so breakouts are basically my
I love
favorite
Ashley.
Genially
She's
creations to make.
awesome.
Have you seen
Ooh, fan of her.
Have you seen her sessions? Yeah, she's amazing. Okay,
Yeah, she's
so
really
we're
good.
gonna look at breakouts with Ashley Spencer, and she's gonna show us how to make these really motivating activities pretty easily. So
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
see what you've
You'll
got
love
for us, Ashley.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Genially EdFest. I am so honored and excited to be here. I am such a big fan of Genially, and I love being an ambassador for this program. I am just absolutely thrilled to be here, and thank you guys all for joining me today. My session is Engagement Invaders. We're talking about Genially Breakouts. So we do a lot of digital breakouts in my district. I have a lot of teachers who are doing it with Genially in 2 different ways. I have teachers who are still in the beginner stages, so we'll talk about ways that they use that with Google. And then I have teachers who are more on the advanced side, who do everything straight within Genially. So I'll show you examples of both. I'll show you examples of things my teachers have done, and then I'll give you guys a few templates to kind of take and play with. So you have some options and things you can kind of take away from this session today. And of course, you guys are more than welcome to reach out to me anytime. I love working with teachers. I'm more than happy to connect with you, sit down with you if you're close by. Would love to meet with you in person. And if not, I'm happy to interact with you virtually as well. If you would like a copy of what I'm going over today, you can use that bit.ly link down at the bottom. I do have a lot of links and things within my presentation, so it is a little interactive, so you guys can take those templates and resources with you. So make sure you grab that, and if for some reason you can't snag that, just find me on Twitter. I'll be more than happy to share it with you. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Dr. Ashley Spencer, and I'm a digital learning specialist in Birdville ISD, which is located near Fort Worth, Texas. We actually oversee 7 different cities in our school district, so it's pretty large. I was the 2021 TCEA Instructional Technology Specialist of the Year. So that's an honor that I am truly cherishing and just love to have. I love TCA. So if you're not a part of that, that's my quick plug for them. And then I have a doctorate in curriculum and instruction. Instructional technology pre-K-12 is my specialization. So digital learning is definitely a passion that I have, and I love getting to work and train teachers on how to use technology in the classroom. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about gamification just to make sure everybody's on the same page and we're all clear on what gamification really is. When we're thinking about gamification, especially in that learning environment, we're trying to approach the learning environment in a way that's motivating to students with kind of that video game design look and feel. There's lots of ways that you can approach that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a video game, but just kind of those same concepts and ideas. So we're looking at those video game elements in the learning environment when we're thinking about gamification and education. So some of the ways that we can do that is when we have some of those game-based elements, but we're also including those points and scoring systems or things like that. We're looking at peer competition. Students love to have a little bit of that competition, so we'll talk about that. Teamwork is also great. It's a great way to build collaboration with students. Having students, with those score tables or things to kind of drive that engagement and also kind of drive that competition a little bit. And it's a great way to help students kind of assimilate the new information, but also test their knowledge on information as well. So when you're using those game-based activities, there's a lot of ways to kind of get students digging deeper, thinking critically, and using those problem-solving skills on new information, but also testing their knowledge with the same skill set. So different ways that we can approach that. And when we're looking at gamification education, we're looking at sustaining that engagement but we're also looking at the unique needs of our kids. So there's different ways that we can gamify our classroom for the different pockets of populations and different needs of our students. And then also we're looking more so at motivating our students and getting them engaged, not so much points, grades, and scoring. There's points and things as part of that gamification process, but when I'm talking about points and grades, I'm thinking about things you're going to put in the grade book. So here, when we're talking about points, there's kind of two different ways that we're looking at it. It's great to have points as part of the game and getting kids motivated, but we're focusing more on those things and getting the students engaged and motivated rather than trying to just get another grade. So we'll kind of talk about that as well as we go through. So some other things to consider when we're talking about gamification, again, giving points for meeting those academic objectives. So if they achieve a level, they do something great, they can have points within the game, but we're not trying to grade every single tiny aspect of the game. Creating those playful barriers. This is where digital breakouts are going to come in, where we have those barriers or those things where they have to kind of figure a clue out in order to get to the next part. That gives them those critical thinking and those problem solving skills working. Creating competition in the classroom. So again, anytime that you can have the kids kind of compete on some level, it's going to give them a little bit more ownership and they're going to get a little bit more competitive and buy into it a little bit more. Any type of activity where they are comparing, reflecting on the personalized performance. So when we think about video games or arcade games, things like that, you always get this performance summary at the end that kind of tells you how you did. So those are great things to kind of embed as well, because it gives those students that immediate self-reflection and the feedback and the things that we love as teachers. We want to give them that feedback and we want to give them time to self-reflect on those games and activities that they're playing. Using levels, checkpoints, and other methods of progression. So again, levels and points and things like that for kids to know how they're making progress is great, but not trying to take points and grades for every single thing that they're doing while they're working through it. Especially if it's a new concept and they're trying to learn and dig in, there's going to be parts where they stumble. So we don't want to, micromanage every single tiny piece of the game. And a lot of cases, we kind of want to look at that personalized performance. How do they do overall? And let's analyze that data and see where we need to kind of intervene and support our students. Giving learning badges, again, instead of points or grades. So giving them a token or something like that. I'm thinking like Mario Brothers, where there's coins and things like that, that are kind of giving them, that progression and letting them see how well they're doing, as opposed to getting a 90 or a 93 or an 80 or an A, B, C. The critical thinking and problem solving, we're going to see that a lot with digital breakouts. You'll see that in a lot of different versions of gamification, but we're going to talk about that as well here. And then student ownership. When the kids are playing a game and they're invested, they're going to have a lot more ownership of how well they perform in the game, just like they do when they're at home if they're playing a game. They have ownership of what their character is doing, the actions, and the outcomes. So the same application is going to be here as well. So some things to think about with digital breakouts when we're thinking about gamification. It's very similar to digital escape rooms. And digital breakouts and digital escape rooms are very similar to the physical ones that we do. There's going to be clues and questions and things that you kind of have to work through. And as you work through those, you're going to achieve at the end, and hopefully you'll win the game. A lot of these sometimes have timers, sometimes they don't. You can decide how you want to do that. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we move forward. But we're looking at providing students that engaging and immersive online learning experience, especially if we can have them interact in multiple ways. It just gives them more ways to interact with the material that we're learning, and in a way that's different and unique, something that they're not doing every single day. Digital breakouts, definitely are going to require students to have those critical thinking and problem solving skills in order to solve all the clues and crack all those codes, or to get past the diversions or the barriers that are put in place. And while they're doing all those things, they're going to master those learning outcomes and the skills that you're wanting them to learn and grow in at the same time. This is actually a template that Dragons and Dungeons is a Genially template. So you guys are welcome to click on that. It's going to open it up, kind of let you poke around and play. I'm going to show you guys several templates as well. But like I said, this is an interactive presentation, so feel free to kind of click on some of the images and things I have throughout. So when we're looking at digital breakouts, There are two different ways that my teachers like to do it, and it very much depends on their level of comfort and how well they feel like they can use one or the other. And so what I mean by that is I have a lot of teachers who are really Google savvy. So they like to start there with digital breakouts. So what we like to do is use Google Sites and Google Forms, and then we embed a Genially inside. And the reason we do that is just because our teachers are familiar with Google. We used to be Google Classroom. We have the Google Suite. So that's kind of like a first language for our teachers. They know how to make sites and forms. The Genially part is what's new for some of them. So we start with what they know and then add in a little extra. So we can embed the Genially in a variety of ways. I have teachers who do that for the different clues. So different pages of the Google Sites will have a different Genially full of clues and things, interactive images, different things that they're going to use the Genially for. I have a lot of them that will pull a presentation template. And as the kids click through, there's different questions and they're entering those answers into the Google form to see if it's right. A plus for the Google and Genially mix is the data collection with Google Forms. You can see how your students did. There's that response validation, and you can see which kids were successful. You can see when they did it. So you get a little bit more data from your students when you do it that way. And then you can also track their progress and their activity because Google Forms now saves their progress. So if they start and stop, you'll see how far they made it and within how much time. So there's a little bit of a data piece that you get with Google and Genially mixed. Whereas with Genially on its own, you're not going to be able to see that data. So that is one thing to kind of think about before you do that. That's one thing I caution with teachers. If you're wanting to collect data, you want to mix it with Google so that you get that output. If you're wanting to do something fun and engaging and you're going to collect that data and that knowledge and information in a different way, then just using a Genially template is fine. But just kind of that caveat, so letting you know that you won't have a data output when you use a plain Genially template. But there are lots of pros to using the Genially templates. They are definitely more engaging and creative than a typical Google site. So there's lots of movement and interaction when you're using those. It definitely has more of that video game look and feel than the Google and Genially mix. So that's, different level of engagement and interest there with your kids. It's definitely highly engaging for the kids because again, it looks exactly like a video game. And I'll show you some of the templates and how those look. And it keeps students all in one place. When you're doing the Google Genially mix, it might open things up in multiple windows. So just kind of know that. You have to make sure that your students know that they're going to have their Google site and their Genially. A lot of times when you embed it, it stays in one place, but sometimes kids want to pop those out. And so you may end up with 2-3 tabs, whereas with the Genially, it's all going to be in one place. So we'll kind of do some walkthrough examples so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about, but just kind of know these are the two ways that my teachers tend to use it. My beginners like to use Google because that's what they're familiar with. And my more advanced ones are very comfortable with just using a Genially template on its own. But again, that data piece matters. If you're really wanting to collect data throughout your Google form or throughout your digital breakout, you're going to want to use that Google form somewhere so that you have that physical output somewhere. So I'm going to talk more about the Google and Genially mix because that's where I start my beginners. So if this is new for you, this would be a great place to start, especially if you're familiar with Google. So this is a Google site that a teacher made and they embedded a Genially presentation. So what we see here in the top middle where it says the Great Math Detective, it was a presentation template from Genially. The kids go through and all the questions are in there. So when they click start, it gives them instructions and a prompt, and then it takes them through each question. The front page also says clue 1, clue 2, clue 3, clue 4. So the students can go in any order that they want as long as they enter those into the Google form. On the Google form, they have to enter the exact right answer or it will not unlock. So that's where your locking and clues part comes in, is the Google form is going to do that part for you. So the Google site's really not doing much, as its only job really is to hold all the information in one place. So it's got your Genially with your questions, it's got your Google form for your response validation. You can throw in your timer, whatever else you want. There's not a whole lot they're doing with the Google site. It's just kind of holding everything together. The big pieces are the Genially and the Google form. So if we click on these, I'm actually going to try to click on these and open one for you. You guys should be able to click on this and kind of poke around. You can see here's the Google site with their instructions. And then if they scroll down, the Genially will pop up. They can click on the start button and kind of go through all those different questions. So you can see here, they can click start. And once they start the Genially, here's their clues. So again, this is going to align with their Google form. So if you go to clue 1, there's images and things. The students can drag the circle to the correct answer. Whatever they think that answer is, they go back and they put that in the Google form to see if it's correct. They can go through each one. Same thing. There's some things that are highlighted, keywords, things like that. So they've got a lot of options here. They can add images and things to help the students, but they're using Genially to just kind of have more of an engaging way of practicing these test questions as opposed to just another packet or another stack of questions or another paper. This one's really interesting because you can drag the magnifying glass to read. So like that's just a little extra piece that they did in Genially. And I can show you guys how you can do that. But this was just a fun way. It's just another way to read the questions. That's all they did is they took a worksheet of questions and just copied them into Genially. This is way more fun and engaging for the kids. So they can go through, click on everything. And then once they are ready, they can go down here and they insert their clues or their answers to each clue. They have to enter it exactly correct. If not, it will tell them that they have not solved the clue. They need to go back and review their work in order to unlock and finish the breakout. So that's just a Google form template. And if you guys click on this image here where the sample Google form is, that will actually give you a copy template for you guys to kind of take and play with. So that's kind of how a lot of my teachers tend to do it. I'm going to go on this next page here. This is another example. You guys, again, can click on this. It should take you straight to a breakout and kind of show you guys it's very similar, just a different look and feel. They did a Spider-Man theme. So here are the instructions. This one has a timer, so the kids can start the timer when they're ready, and it will count down from 45 minutes. That was the time that the teacher set. And then here is our Google form again. So you can see our Google form is here. They go through and they answer. And then down here are the questions. This again is a Genially presentation template. So they took the template and they just dumped the questions in, same exact thing. So the students could pick any villain that they wanted to start with. So maybe we want to start over here. It will take them to that page. It will give them the question and the kids can pick A, B, C, or D. They'll go back up to their Google form, insert A, B, C, or D and see if it's correct. So that's just one way that I have teachers who are new to breakouts kind of amp it up just a little bit more than your typical Google sites. It's just one way to easily use Genially. I think the thing about Genially is it looks very similar, or it has a similar look and feel to Google Slides. So my Google savvy teachers are very comfortable with that. They know if they look on the left side, it looks very similar. They can click on pages. They can edit those templates pretty easily. So it's a great way to kind of start and build them into the big Genially templates. So that's what I'm going to move into next and kind of spend a little bit more time on, is really looking at these templates. So again, all of this is interactive. You guys should be able to click these and get copies of these templates or play with these templates. What I really like about these is just the look and feel. They look very much like a video game. It's very fun and different for the kids. And Genially does an amazing job with their templates, because when you click on it, they don't put in a whole bunch of information that you have to edit. They will put, in this box is the right answer. This box put the wrong answer. So they make it very simple for you to go in and edit if it's something that's new for you or kind of overwhelming. So if I click on this one, we'll kind of poke around and look through it. We can see here, you've got this option to use this template. So this is a copy that you guys are welcome to take and kind of play with and see if it's something you want to try in your classroom. Again, what I love about it is how simple and easy they make it to edit for teachers. So here's our breakout room. You can start the game, or there's a story. Again, when you get to edit this, you can change that information. It's not stuck there. We're going to go ahead and click start game, and I'm just going to kind of poke around. A lot of the things too that they have in here, there's sounds and lots of effects. I mean, they've got a ton of stuff going on here. And this looks very much like a video game. So you can kind of click through, and then you can, the students will have different ways to interact with it. So we'll click, of course, and we'll see what happens. So there's a lot of stuff happening here that you're not going to get with the Google Slides. So that's what I mean by like the level of engagement and activity that's happening here is definitely going to be way more than the Google Sites and the Google Forms. But if this is overwhelming for you and you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh my word, how do I get here? Start small with the Google Site and the Google Form, play around with some Genially templates and kind of work your way here. But again, these are really, really easy to work with. So I'm just clicking through just to kind of show you guys a little bit of what this looks like, just so you can kind of get an idea, and you guys can click and poke around on these as well. When you just kind of click through the game, and then here's what I'm talking about. It will give you a space to enter what you want the question to be, and then they tell you which button is the wrong answer and which one is the right answer. So you don't have to worry about linking all of this stuff and making this game work. They've done all of that for you. All you have to do is kind of fill in the blank. So when you're editing, you just type in your question here, and then you type in the wrong answer here and the right answer here. So that way the game will keep working for you. So again, you don't have to worry about making sure that everything works and functions. It's all done for you. So we'll click right answer. And then here you can see the right answers now over here and the wrong answers here. So they do switch it up. So it's not always in the same place as well. So we'll just kind of click through just so you can kind of see some different things. Congratulations, here's your reward. You've earned it. So now the kids have a green stone and now they get to go to the next level. So this is a great example where there's multiple levels and things for students to work through. And this is where, students can work on their own. They can work in groups. There's a lot of ways that you can interact with these templates. So this is a really fun, great template. It's free and easy to use. You just click that plus button and we'll add it right to your account, ready for you to edit. So I'm going to go back over here and we're going to go through a few more options, some other examples that I've seen teachers use or some that I found that I thought were pretty great. This is another one that was created by Genially. And again, it looks exactly like an old school Nintendo, right? And so that's one that I find some nostalgia with, but I think the kids like it too. It's got that video game look and feel. So you already know that they're going to be excited about it. It looks very different than your typical breakout room. So all you have to do is press start. And you've got different things that you can do here. You can do an introduction, you can do characters, and you can do missions. So this one's a little bit more advanced, right? You can have the introduction where you explain what it is you want the kids to do. You've got different characters, so you can kind of edit those as well. Maybe you want to throw in some students or base it on your students. And then you've got the different missions. What do you want your students to work on? And so here, the students get to pick which mission they're going on. So it's a little bit different. They're not working in a straight and narrow path. Here, they're getting to kind of choose a little bit. We're going to start with number 1. And so here, the question again, it leaves a spot for you to have the question. It leaves a spot for you to include an image. This is great for my math teachers who want to have some visuals of manipulatives or things like that, or even for younger teachers, if you have some images that you want to throw in here. And then it shows you right answer, wrong answer, wrong answer. So all you got to do is put in your content. The game's going to work perfectly for you. So we'll click right answer. And then we'll click right answer. So we'll just kind of click through. And as you can see, that right answer is changing each time. It says congratulations. You can go on to the next one. This one's a little bit different. They've got different puzzle pieces and things like that. And so same thing, right answer, right answer. And as you're getting them right, the pieces are falling into place. So different ways that you can approach it. And then right here, we can click reuse this Genially. So you guys are welcome again to take this template, kind of run with it and play with it. So you've got a copy as well for you guys to work with. I'll go ahead and close that. And we'll check out another template example. This is one that I really like to use. I show this in pretty much every PD session I do that involves Genially, because this is one of my favorites. It's one of the more elaborate, more exciting and engaging ones, I think, just because there's a lot of sound effects. There's a big story intro. So if I click on start, like you can already see there's a lot going on. There's a lot of movement and interaction. So I like this one a little bit more. It's a little bit more advanced. So the goal is the students have to answer the questions correctly to get the door to close. Same thing. You can enter your questions here. Right answer, wrong answer. So if I hit right answer, you can see part of the door is closing. And there's lots of sound effects and things going on. And this particular game does have multiple levels. So the more that your students play and the more that they're successful, they get to go on to the next one. So there's different rooms and they can't go to the next room. So I like that this one's got different levels and things for the kids as well. They can always go back and see their rooms and then they can go on to the next room. So this is a really fun one that I really enjoy. And I like that it just has that look and feel. It's got lots of things going on. This one is where you are trying to identify the imposter along the way. So that's just an added extra piece. So I think that's really fun. And again, it tells you which one is the true ones, which one is the lie. So we want to pick this guy. We think he's the imposter. And then here you get to drag the light around and you're looking for the alien to see if we can find him anywhere. So this one's really interactive, especially compared to the other ones that we just played. So I think that's really fun and neat. So this is another great template that you guys can use. And then this one is another one that I like. It's another free template. This might be a little bit more fun for your early elementary kids. It just has a different look and feel than the other ones. But your other kids, older kids may like it too. But I do think for early elementary, this is a good one. So you can kind of go through, they click the sticky notes on the kitchen. These are all pieces you can edit. So right here, you can edit all of those things. And then again, correct option, wrong, wrong, wrong. So if it's correct, we're kind of building a recipe here. So I'm going to click correct. We get to check off part of their step of their recipe. And now we're going on to the next step of the recipe. But these questions are different. So here they're trying to drag and drop. So this is, again, another good one for elementary. I know for the state of Texas, this is kind of part of our new state testing, that if the kids are having to learn to drag and drop, this is a great way to practice that. So the kids are going to have to move things over. We'll put our things over here. We're just going to kind of drag and drop them. You can see if they can match their answers correctly. So this is kind of a way to self-check. They can hit continue. Same thing. They'll kind of go through. We'll kind of click continue and just kind of push through those. So now we've passed the next part of the recipe and we're on to step 3. This one again is a little bit different. We're having to select which one is correct. This one has a check on here to help you know that it's the correct one. So when you're switching out those pictures, you don't have to worry about the check. You can get rid of that, but it just wants you to know this is the one that you want to be the correct picture. We passed step 3 and then on to the next one, correct or wrong. So just different ways too. It doesn't all have to be, your typical multiple choice. These are all very different types of questions, different ways of getting kids to think and respond. It all looks very different than your typical testing and things like that. And then this one's a really fun one. I've had a couple of teachers use it and they are older elementary. They're reading Harry Potter. And so this has been a fun one for them to kind of do some activities. As you can see, there's no buttons to click. So you kind of have to poke around and kind of find your way through. This is more of an interactive image option. So you're kind of going through and you're trying to figure out what do you need to click on. And as you can see, if I get close to the envelope, I have the little pointer finger to click. And that's what kind of gets things started. So you can change this as well. You've got the option to change things. It will take you back here. And now I have a new piece that appeared. And so when I click on that, it's going to take me to a video. things like that. I won't click through all of these options, but this one, each page that they go through, new pieces will appear for them to click on. So they're having to follow through with some clues and things. You also have the option within Genially to put passwords on pages. So you can make it to where they have to enter a password before they can get to the next phase. There are a ton of different ways to do this. I would strongly recommend that you start with templates and kind of learn how all these different templates work before you start creating from scratch and start creating on your own. There are tons and tons and tons of templates available. So I'm going to click here. These are all just resources and links to kind of help you get started. The first one is the Genially template library. So if I click on that, it's going to give you over 1,000, just buy one, 1,001 free templates. So these are all ones that are free. You don't have to have a higher level license to use any of these. You've got different options here that you can click on to kind of help filter through. So if we click on games and quizzes, we'll see free gamification templates. So here you can see here are all the different ones that are already available to you. You can kind of start with these and edit as you go. Just drop in your questions or your information, the things that you want them to practice and engage with. And there's tons of different options. There's different quiz options and things like that as well. So it won't be just breakout rooms in here, but you do have quite a few breakout templates on this resource page. And you can always search through the templates page and find other ways to do it. Like that Harry Potter one was an interactive image. So you can always go here and see what's available for you guys to interact with and use. A lot of these templates are great ideas, but they're all editable. So you can make them fit your needs and you can change them however you'd like. You can also input your own image and create from scratch as well. And at the end of all of these, it will tell you what is an interactive image and how do I make one. So they do give you step-by-step guides and resources to kind of help you go through that as well. Right here is a template link for escape room templates, which I already showed you guys. Gamification with Genially. If you click on this link, it is going to show you how Genially talks about gamification, why gamification, tips and resources and things like that. So you can kind of scroll through and work through that. Then it will talk about education, how to use the templates, there's training, things like that. So they offer a lot of resources for gamification. Here are Genially tips and tricks. So this is where I got the magnifying glass trick from on that one breakout. And then in the other breakout where they're searching for the alien with the orange circle, that information is in here. So if you scroll through, it will give you different tips and tricks, how to do surprising sound effects for your breakout rooms, how to edit without anyone noticing, because we all know that that's going to happen where we're going to make a mistake and we need to change it really fast. So you can do that as well. That's another great thing about Genially is it's a lot like Google where it's constantly updating in the background. So you can make those edits without having to completely start over, completely interrupt your lesson. So that's a good one as well. If you scroll through, it will show you how to embed Genially's within other pages. That's great if you're going to do Google Sites or if you're going to do an advanced breakout room. That's going to be a tool that you're going to want to be familiar with. How to get some feedback if you want to do that as well. It's going to be a little bit different. Again, you won't have that data output. Here's how to create carousel banners. So again, there's a lot of tips and tricks. Number 7, this is where you're going to want to come for the flashlight or the magnifying glass. So again, they give you the step-by-step instructions here, and then they give you an example that you can play with here so you can kind of see what it looks like. So if I keep moving this over, here's the key that I want to click on or interact with. So that's another great tip or trick. And then here, they're just going to give you some more options, making invisible areas and things like that. So these are great tips to kind of come back to if you're wanting to take your digital breakout rooms up a notch, just some additional tips and tricks. And then here, Genially and gamification in the classroom. This is a blog post that they have that talks about how to do this in the classroom. So again, if gamification is new for you in education and you haven't done it before, this is a great place to start because it will talk about why do we talk about gamification, what's its importance and its values, different ways that we can do that. So again, breakout rooms and escape rooms, those are really popular for gamification and really great places to start, especially because your kids probably already know how to interact with a lot of those things based on if they're playing video games or if they're playing Minecraft or things like that. They're going to have a lot of those skill sets to kind of interact with your breakout rooms. And they're going to be familiar with that critical thinking and that problem solving if they play video games or if they've ever been to a breakout in real life or things like that. So they should be able to pick it up pretty quick and easy. Interactive board games and things like that. There's a lot of Genially templates for that as well. And those are things you can kind of interact or embed with your breakout rooms too, if you really want to kind of mix those two together. Here we'll talk about educational breakouts, some of the things like that we've already talked about. It's great for problem solving and teamwork, evaluating their prior knowledge or evaluating what they've learned, things like that. So this is a great place to start. They've got a lot of resources, and then they'll show you how to create one. So if you're really ambitious and you are thinking, I want to go ahead and create one and you don't need any templates, you are welcome to come check this out. They will give you a lot of tips and tricks on how to start making those. But again, I would start with the templates. They have so many wonderful templates that you can start with to kind of get familiar with how Genially breakout rooms and escape rooms work. And then as you get more comfortable, you can start creating your own. But definitely check out those templates. If nothing else, they're just a great place to start. They have so many wonderful options and they're all just fabulous. I can't talk up their templates enough. I think they do a really fabulous job. And again, it doesn't have to be a breakout room template. Like I said, I have teachers who have used presentation templates, or like that Harry Potter one was an interactive image. So they've got breakout templates, but you can also manipulate other templates that they have to make it work for your needs and for your students in the classroom. So I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I really just wanted to kind of get you interested in talking about the different ways that you can kind of use gamification in the classroom, looking at digital breakouts with Genially, that you can start small and embed it with Google if that's what's easy for you and you want to start somewhere little. And if you want to work your way through and start using those Genially templates, there's, those are the two biggest ways that I see my teachers use it, and they've had a lot of success with that. Again, you can click on the Twitter icon, reach out to me, let me know if you have any questions. I am more than happy to meet with you by Zoom or Teams or however you would like. If there's anything that you need, if you need help building, you want more ideas, you just want someone to chat with, please reach out to me. I am more than happy to help you guys. Again, thank you so much. I'm so glad that everyone is here for EdFest, for Genially, and I hope everyone was able to walk away with something from my session today. Thank you guys so much.
Wow. Yeah.
Doc,
taking notes.
Ashley, you are something else. Oh my gosh, I will be calling you.
I'm out here taking notes. Yeah, take advantage. No kidding.
Yeah,
Thank you
good
so
stuff.
much, Ashley. Erica, this is now your fangirl moment. Here it is.
They're
Are you
both
ready?
in the chat box.
Matt Miller and Carly Mora are here.
Love them both.
What are they going to show us, Erica?
Well, they're going to show us how to ditch that textbook in Genially.
I love you.
I saw that going a lot better. There was a pillow over there. Take it away, Matt and Carly.
Go for it.
Hello, and welcome to this presentation called Ditch That Textbook with Genially. This is obviously part of the day that's all around gamification, and so we wanted to share with you some of our favorite ideas for gamifying learning using Genially. There will be lots of templates that you can start using right away because we all love a good template, so we don't have to recreate the work all ourselves, and we're going to have lots of ideas for you to be able to use those. So we're going to do some introductions real quick. My name's Matt Miller. I'm the author of Ditch That Textbook. The website, the book, and 4 other books taught high school Spanish for more than 10 years. And I've used gamification in my classroom in a number of different ways, from like little review games to just all sorts of little things to try to keep my students' attention and drive that motivation. So I can definitely see from my own time in the classroom, I can see some use out of that. So that's me. Carly, what about you?
Hi, I'm Carly Mora, and I was in the classroom for over 15 years. And I still am in classrooms all the time, but I am part of the Ditch That Textbook team. I am the blog and social media editor here at Ditch That Textbook, and I love, love, love Genially. I love gamification, and I use it all the time. I use Genially all the time in the classroom. I use Genially all the time in Ditch That Textbook things, and we've got some great stuff for you. So it's going to be really exciting, and you're going to like it.
Yes, I think so too. So we're going to get my screen up here on the screen as soon as Carly gives me the permission to be able to screen share. And while she does that, I will tell you that we did, of course, make all of our slides for this presentation using Genially. So you're going to get to actually see it in action in that way. So that's kind of cool. And we also have a link for you right here that you can use to get into our presentation. That's at bit.ly/DTT with Genially. So feel free to go use that to jump into our presentation later. So let's go ahead and hit start and get right into this. Starting with a quote from my book, Tech Like a Pirate. Tech Like a Pirate is a book that's all about engaging students, doing that, fun, engaging learning with technology. It just says that engagement is so important in the classroom, and we can't be above doing whatever we can to keep our students' attention. Sometimes I think we feel like it's kind of like beneath us to figure out like, what are the cool things that kids are into right now? But really that's just about being, relevant and authentic with what kids are up to. And, we can't really get through to them without attention. If their attention is someplace else, they might as well be someplace else physically, even if they're seated in our classrooms. So some of these gamification ideas, I think you will find that sometimes we can motivate students in ways that we can't in a grade book. And Carly, wanted to ask you about that. Have you found that, gamification principles, using games in class, that sometimes you're able to motivate students in ways that you can't just with traditional grades?
Definitely. I find that you can use the exact same content, but gamify it, and all of a sudden it's fun. The kids want to do it. They're talking about it after class. They're telling their friends, "Oh, you should check out this math game we did." And all we did was take a boring worksheet and turn it into a game. And Genially does a great job of you talked about being relevant, and the templates that Genially gives us are so relevant. They do a great job of keeping up with what students love, and it's already right there for us to put our content in there for our students.
Yeah, and we always like it when somebody else has made something flashy that we can use ourselves. So we don't have to do all that design work ourselves. It's just right there waiting for us. And so that's pretty nice. So like we were saying, we've got a whole bunch of examples, but let's take kind of a step back and go big picture and look at how you can figure out some kind of cool, creative, unique ways to bring gamification into the classroom. And this slide sort of illustrates an important point, one that I wrote about in my book, Tech Like a Pirate, when it comes to using games in the classroom. And it's this. This is one of my favorite things about trying to fit games into learning or game elements into learning. It's that we have so much good inspiration all around us. Chances are, if you're watching this, you probably have some kind of game that either you love to play as a kid and my guess is it's and probably love playing as an adult. And so what we can do is take those games, the ones that we love ourselves or that our students love, and reverse engineer them a little bit and go, what is it about this game that's irresistible? What is it that makes people just get excited about it and think about it all the time and strategize about it and talk to their friends about it and everything? If we can pick that little thing that makes that particular game irresistible, sometimes we can include it in a lesson and it sort of transforms the experience. that students have with it. And so we're going to be talking about some examples of that kind of all throughout our presentation. And we're going to focus in on a handful of these. We're going to talk about how gamification allows us to solve a puzzle, collect points, recall facts and information, and search for clues. So Carly, I kind of think that these are some good examples of ways that gamification can fit in the classroom. What do you have to add about just like gamification in general?
So there's lots of other game hooks, and Matt, you've written about a lot of them, and we have that up on our blog. But these kinds of ways to get students engaged in learning it's an easy way to take what you're already doing in the classroom, but just put that gamification spin on it. And taking a small piece of a game that we love makes it simpler. Sometimes when we think about, I have to gamify everything, like we hear gamification. Oh my goodness, so that means I have to gamify everything. But then when you think, oh, all I need to do is just put a point value on things and let the kids, and then as they collect information, or as they answer questions, they get points. That's gamification. And so I think it kind of takes it down a couple notches for us, and it's not as intense or overwhelming when you think of it that way. If you think about taking those little game hooks and adding them into the content that you're teaching, it's not so intense or scary.
Right. And I have seen some teachers that have done gamification on a big scale. They've got like a year-long game where the students are developing up their characters, and they're earning points, and there's boss battles and everything. I think of Michael Matera, who wrote the book Explore Like a Pirate. That's all about gamification. His whole year is kind of like a game. And I think of Carrie Bogham, who's a special ed teacher in Illinois, and she's done a year-long game. One version of it she did that I really like is called Star Warsopoly. It takes the Monopoly game and Star Wars characters and kind of blends them together for something fun for her students. Both of them created those great big year-long games, but they didn't do it overnight. They did it kind of like little by little, step by step. And of course, if you want to go great big with gamification, you certainly can. But I know even with those two as examples, they did it step by step. They started small, they took one little piece, and then they kind of like slowly added to it over time. So maybe some of these ideas that you see in this presentation will be the beginning of your gamification journey, or maybe you've already started in your gamification journey and we get to give you a couple of extra little steps potentially. So that's what we're excited about, and that's what we're going to dive into in this presentation. So let's talk about the very first one, the collect points or money hook. Remember, we're talking about game hooks here. We're kind of looking at, what are some of the things that popular games do to try to capture our attention, to try to get us involved in them, to try to get us excited about them. And kind of like it says on the screen here, when students can collect points or money in a game, as they move throughout the board, it creates an incentive to be the one to earn the most. Your competitive students are going to eat this up, right? Identify an accomplishment to reward inside of the game and give it a point or a monetary value. So accomplishment and monetary value or point value. It can be a question they answer or a task they have to perform. And then once they complete the task, they get the points or the money. Carly, let me kick this one over to you. What would you add to that?
So this is an easy way, again, to take like those little questions that they always ask at the end of a chapter or something that you, again, a worksheet or something, and turn it into a game. So if we take and we just add a little point value, then all of a sudden it's exciting. And one way you can kind of level this up is asking your students, if you've played a game, and we'll show you a few templates in a minute, ask your students, what point value would you assign this question? Is this an easy question that you can answer right away? Is this a question you have to look things up? Could you make this question into a task? Maybe they draw a picture or something like that. So this is a way, just giving something a point value and then having the kids compete against each other or earn points as they go. All of a sudden it's gamification and the kids are loving it and they're into it. So this is a great way to take take little pieces of your content and kind of drip them throughout your unit. Or if you want to play a game at the end of a unit, you could take all of those things that the kids maybe were struggling with, or maybe that they that came very easy to them, and have that be a lower point value, and then ones that are more difficult, have it be a higher point value. But there's so many ways you could take this idea and play the game, and the templates that we have for you make it really fun to bring this into the classroom.
Yeah. This immediately makes me think of retail rewards programs. For me, that's definitely Starbucks stars. I don't know what the hypnotic, the it has this hypnotic effect on me. Like I'm going to Starbucks and I don't even like Starbucks coffee that much. And like I'm ordering coffee that I don't like that much to get Starbucks stars that I can redeem for coffee that I don't like that much. Like it doesn't make any sense. But there's something about the game where I want to earn the stars, and then I want to think, what can I buy with the stars? What can I do with the stars? And that goes right into what we were just talking about here. It's a trade-off, right? It's like a little classroom economy. Points for, whatever the rewards are. And how do you get the points? You do it by, doing some sort of task or answering certain questions. Whatever students want, or whatever you want students to do, they earn those points by doing that thing. And the thing that I found that's kind of cool about all of this is that sometimes you end up motivating students with these kinds of rewards, with this kind of little classroom economy, in a way that you can't with traditional grades. With some, you hook certain students in that you would never get otherwise, or it would be really, really hard to get otherwise. So I love this one as a game hook. And of course, what's really nice is that we do have some Genially templates that you can use that go right along with this. Carly, do you want to talk about what you can do with these templates?
Yeah, so these are just 3 templates that are available for free in the Genially free account. So you can use this Olympics board games, and when you click on this inside the presentation, we'll open up the board game and what it looks like. And again, these are templates for you. You take them and then you add your content in. So you've got the different players, and of course, this is all editable that you can change. You've got the die up in the corner that you can click on, and it will help you roll. You can roll and go to the next place. But what you're going to do is you're going to put your questions in here, or your task. You're going to edit this template so that you can add in your own questions. So when you edit this template, you could add this. So this has a football icon. So maybe you're a PE teacher and you are using this Olympic template to go back and talk about different sports that you played throughout the year. Of course, it doesn't have to be sports. It could be anything. You can change the icon. You can edit this the way you like, but you're going to embed your questions in and put your point values or monetary values into this board game, so that when your students are playing it with each other, or you could play it as a whole class, they're getting points as they go. So it's just a fun way to add some gamification. And then we have this Loremopoly game, which looks a lot like Monopoly. And again, you're going to edit it and you're going to add in your own questions, but the game itself is already here. So the gamification is already built right in. All you have to do is add your content, so that when your students click on these things as they're moving through the game, they're earning the pieces. They're earning the point value. They're earning the and then you could even, they could build houses, you could drag them around, and you're going to assign values to all of these things so that your students earn it as they go. And with all of this, it's not on you. Have the kids help you decide, okay, well, how does Monopoly work? We have like the $100 house in the beginning, and then by the end we're looking at like $500, $600 properties, and then the houses cost so much. So have your students help you decide, have them help you gamify your content, and then as you keep going, it's going to you'd be surprised. The gamification idea and having students be the creators brings it to a whole new level, and they start seeing themselves as game creators rather than just users of the game. And it really kind of changes their mindset as they play, and as they are even outside of the classroom playing games. When you start talking to them about game creation, it brings a whole nother level to it. And they're thinking about like, what would the game creator do to make this more fun for me? And how can I make it challenging without being too challenging? And it just takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah. And of course, while they're doing all of that game creator type thinking, they're interacting with the stuff that you want them to learn. So everybody wins, right?
Exactly.
All right. So let's keep moving. Let's go on to the next one. Recall facts and information. Another way that you can bring gamification in, because some of the most popular game shows that we watch on TV, they're doing this a lot. And so our slide says these games are a mixture of trivia games and word games. They play upon the existing information you already have in your head. They quantify what you're able to conjure from your mind in different ways. Like in Scrabble, letters get point values. In Trivial Pursuit, correct answers let you move forward a certain number of spaces. And in the end, there is some correlation between the quality and quantity of information that you can recall and your performance. So these recall facts and information type games. Carly, what else do you want to say about that? What else is good about those?
So these are great at the end of a unit. So something like this, a summative, like if you take your summative assessment and gamify it by putting into a Trivial Pursuit game or a Jeopardy game or some of the other templates we're going to show you, you can take everything that you've learned and you're giving your kids an opportunity to use it in a fun way. So again, it's something that they've already learned. They already have existing information in their head and they're using it to answer questions. Now, that's not to say that all of your students will know all the answers every time, and this will help you kind of see where your holes are, but you are using this as a fun way to help them recall information that you've been studying. So there's some really fun templates that we're going to show you that they can help you do this.
Yeah. And this fits really nicely into what Carly was mentioning earlier. She said there have been times where you've taken just like a regular old worksheet. And if you turn it into some sort of a game, then all of a sudden, sometimes it changes the experience that students have with it. And, if you phrase some of these questions that you want to ask through the lens of, like a quiz type game, like a quiz show, then that sort of changes things. And what's neat about that too is that you can transform the game a little bit by creating power-ups. Like Jeopardy has the Daily Double. The Who Wants to Be a Millionaire had all the lifelines, and so there's all of these different little things. I'll give you an example right out of my own class. This wasn't a techie game that we would play for review, but it did let us recall facts and information. It was a game called Trash Get Ball. We take a waste basket, a trash can, right? Take the trash out of it and the trash bag and everything, and get a ball. And then we have lines, a 1-point line, a 2-point line, and a 3-point line. Break my students into teams. And if they got a question right, somebody from their team got to shoot to try to get more points. Well, here come the power-ups. Because one time a student asked me, what if I bounce it in? How many points do I get? And I'm like, double. Just off the top of my head, I was like, you get double points. And they're like, whoa, well, what if I bounce it off of the chalkboard? It was like right next to the chalkboard. What if I bounce it off the chalkboard? And I'm like, double, but don't break anything and don't interrupt the class next door. Well, what if we bounce it off the chalkboard and the floor? Quadruple. We just kept coming up with this stuff. Or sometimes I wouldn't come up with it, but the students would. And we'd be like, is that a good rule? No, we shouldn't do that. Is that a good rule? Yeah. And then they just kind of keep it, But it's another one of those things where it's simple fact recall, it's simple review, but the power-ups can sometimes change things around too. So, but let's get into some of these templates that we can use. And some of these are going to look pretty familiar. So if you want to kind of like dress up some of your review questions or some of your recall activities to make them feel a little bit like a game show that students are either familiar with or aren't familiar with, these are some of the templates that you can use. So Carly, do you want to tell us a little bit about these templates?
Yeah, and there's these are all available to you in the templates library when you log into Genially. This Jeopardy template is actually one that we created at Ditch That Textbook. And so this is a reusable template that you can use. And again, this is Jeopardy. There is a double Jeopardy. inside of here. So when you create it, you can make a certain question. It's already embedded in there. So you can change it if you want, or leave it the way that it is. So it's going to, just like in true Jeopardy style, they're going to give you the answer first, and then you need to know the question. So you give them the answer, and then they have to create the question. What is, and then, so it's already in there. Again, this is a fun way for you guys to gamify your classroom using a game that we all know and love. So this is Jeopardy, and we're going to add the links to these templates for you. So they'll be inside all of this, so that when you click on it, you'll go right to the template, and you could just make a copy, reuse that genially, and add your own content.
Yeah.
And then we have a Trivial Pursuit. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's the nice thing about these templates, is that, like you said, they're copyable, they're reusable. If you wanted to make a trivial game like this for every single lesson or every single unit, you could continually use that over and over again. You get to go in and change the questions and change the answers, and then just shoot the link to the students, and then they can go play it. So it makes it really easy.
Right. And use games that, I love Jeopardy, so I'm going to use Jeopardy in my class. Trivial Pursuit's a game that I've played, but it's not one that I'm super familiar with. So I might decide to use the Millionaire Quiz game instead. So do things that you love. Bring your own excitement and love of games into these. You can find music to play. You could add music to these slides. Inside of Genially, any of the pages you can add music to. And so put your own spin on it. You could change the name of the game. It could be, Mr. Miller's Millionaire Quiz, just put your own spin, make it fun. You can add it together and gamify your whole class this way, or just have it as a fun end of unit game.
Yeah. So of course, feel free to come in and check out any of these templates and use these with your students if you want to. Okay, let's go on to the next section, the solve a puzzle section. And I see this one kind of fascinates me a little bit, because we get into a little bit of the research behind games and what makes them successful. So follow along with us on this. So the slide says, students solve puzzles all the time in class. That's kind of like what learning is it's a great big puzzle in a way, right? We just call them questions or problems. And sometimes it's as simple as reframing them to puzzles. That's really what we've been talking about throughout this whole presentation, is reframing, questions and tasks into games and puzzles. A word of caution though, using carrot and stick rewards, like do this and I'll give you that, is not the ideal motivator for creative conceptual tasks, according to Drive by Daniel Pink. We'll get back to this in just a second. The inherent draw of those challenges usually motivates better. Carrot and stick rewards are better for what Pink calls routine algorithmic tasks. Now, this is sort of interesting. If you've ever read this book, Drive by Daniel Pink, you may be a little bit familiar with this, but if you're not, here's what he's saying. There's been research. He tapped into some research that was done that talks about how carrot and stick rewards, like if you do this, you will get this. They encourage people to do the kind of thinking that's like lower level thinking that you want to do a little bit faster. Sometimes we think about gamifying in that way. A lot of the review, like the online review games, are based on speed. Kahoot, quizzes, Quizlet Live, a lot of those type of games are based on speed. And so those are good for low level, routine, recall type of things. If you want students to do more, kind of like more creative thinking, more outside of the box thinking, something where they have to really, dig into it and come up with lots of possibilities and test things out. And it's not just a clear and obvious answer. Carrot and stick and speed like that doesn't work as well for that. Because for some reason, whenever we're trying to go fast and we're trying to beat the competition, it kind of like narrows our brain's creative capacities. So if you take the speed element out of it, it's better for those creative types of tasks. And there's all sorts of types of puzzles and all sorts of ways that we can bring this into the classroom. Carly, what do you think about this one? About, like solve a puzzle type of ways to gamify your class?
Yeah, I think that puzzles give kids they love puzzles. And I think sometimes, like you said before, we don't even know that we're doing it. We're kind of solving a puzzle. Like if you tell kids that, a word problem in math is actually a puzzle, this is actually something you're solving, you're actually like putting ideas together to solve something, then it gamifies something that you wouldn't normally be able to. But putting this, adding that speed element or taking away that speed element really does kind of change the game. And I think that if we're mindful of that as we create these tasks, it can kind of help us create gamification that really like matches what we're trying to do and all of our students.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look at some templates, some things that you can use if you want to turn what your students are practicing or learning, if you want to turn those repetitions into puzzles. So we've got the find the pairs puzzle template. We've got the what's behind puzzle template, and then the mathematical operations. We can pretty clearly see how this one's going to be used, right? So Carly, tell us a little bit about some of these templates.
So again, these are just a few templates that are available through the Genially library, but you've got find the pairs. This one I could see a vocabulary review would be the way that I could see using this very easily. You could have the word on one of the cards and the picture on the other, or maybe if you teach world language, maybe you have the English word on one and the Spanish word on the other. So you could have it, or you could just have pictures, maybe they're studying something and they have to name what it is as they are matching the pairs. But it's simple. It's a simple task. So this isn't something that you would use, as a huge end of the unit gamification. This would be a simple task that you might use for one kind of like at the end of a lesson. You might take the vocabulary words that you used and maybe like a small story or something like that, and you could do find the pairs. What's behind? I love this one because you roll over as you go, you roll over with your cursor and it gives you little parts of the image. And so you have to figure out what that image is from just as you're rolling over. I think this would be such a fun way to hook students in before you study something. So maybe you put in a picture, maybe you're teaching history and you put in a picture of a battle or something that you're going to be learning about, and you can kind of get them in and have them try to guess, what is this? What are we going to be learning about? And it's a puzzle, it's simple, but it would kind of hook them into like, what is it that we're going to be learning about? Have them take guesses. You could take away the solution to it and just have them guess. And maybe as you keep going and learning, you can go back to it and see, do you guys know what it is now? Do you know what it is now? And I think it would be really fun. Just little tiny thing that you could do to hook them in. And then the mathematical operations game, you could make this as difficult or as hard as you want to. Genially has this great ability to create draggable elements inside of the pages inside of your Genially. And so you can have them drag them in, and then you could put the solution at the top. So it is, it's a quick way for them to check how they did, and then they could go on to the next one. But it's a simple task, but it's a puzzle. It's dragging and dropping. There's a Sudoku puzzle inside of Genially that you can copy and create and make your own. But that draggable elements that Genially has is one that I haven't seen in any other tool, and it just makes for a fun way for them to practice concepts. Especially in math.
Yeah. And Carly, let me ask you about this. Creating these draggables, I know we're talking about templates generally in this one. How hard is it if someone sees this and they envision an activity that they want to do where they want to make it draggable, or they've seen something else in here where they're like, oh, that template is really cool, but if I made my own, I could use this in a different way. Like, how hard is it to create some of this stuff from scratch?
Oh, I love taking templates and then I remix them and make it totally my own, but making something draggable as easy as clicking that interactivity button and just making it, you just click the little hand and make it draggable. Or I've even found that if you use your Control or Command D, it will make that whatever you've selected all of a sudden draggable. And your students will be able, without editing it, they can drag things around. So you're creating like an online interactive activity for them, and they can drag things around, and it's really, really easy to do. And Genially has a ton of academies, and their Genially Learn academies that you can find, and you can look at tutorials and see how to do this. And it's really easy. Once you get started, you'll never go back to the way you've presented again after doing things with Genially.
Right. Yes. No, I totally agree. And I love that idea of taking something and remixing it. Like if some of the work is already done, you can just go change it around and make it your own, throw out the things that don't work and keep the things that do work. Or find another template that isn't even made for that task. And you go, yeah, but if I put some draggables in here, yeah, but if I put this little, interactive thing in here, that would make for a pretty cool activity. Like, you don't have to start from scratch, but you can if you want to, which is pretty cool as well. So, all right, let's go down to this last one. Search for clues. I know this is a favorite of ours. Carly and I love this one because there's lots of possibility for this. And so search for clues. This one says, searching for clues to solve a mystery or challenge is a great game hook. Virtual escape rooms are a great way to do this. A virtual escape room. And by the way, if you've never been to like a physical escape room before, these are the ones where, you go to a location and they kind of like quote unquote lock you in the room and you need to try to escape. And this room has all sorts of stuff all around it. It's got tables, it's got pictures on the wall, it's got, any number of things. And all of the clues that you need to unlock the lock to get you out of the room are in that room somewhere. So that's kind of like the broad concept of the idea of the escape room. And the virtual escape room is obviously just like a virtual version of this. So a virtual escape room is a series of puzzles or challenges and clues that lead the participants to figure out a specific lock combination in order to either progress to the next stage or gain a part of a larger clue. And you can create your own or find those that have already been made. So Carly, tell me a little bit about your love of virtual escape rooms. Like why do you think this is such a great task?
There's days where you just tell the kids we're doing virtual escape rooms, and if they've done it one time, they are so excited to do this. And really, again, you're just taking content that you want your students to, and this is a great way to get like really deep into learning. Like give them a math problem that's really tricky, like a really tricky a word problem, and then all of a sudden embed it in a virtual escape room, and that's the clue that they need to move on to the next one. And you've got kids, they're talking, they're looking at stuff, they're all of a sudden collaborating over it. But it's just a fun, really, really fun way to get the class involved in something. And with being virtual, I know a lot of us have used like breakout boxes, physical locks, which are super fun. But this way, every single student or a group pair or even a small group could be on one device, and you can get everybody involved in it. So virtual escape rooms are if you know anything about me, you know that I love virtual escape rooms, and I've been creating virtual escape rooms for years. And once I discovered virtual escape rooms with Genially, it was all over. A new love was discovered, and I love creating with Genially. So we're going to show you some templates that Genially has to create your own escape rooms with Genially, and then some ones that we've created that you can use right away. So here's a couple that are already there. Again, these are ones that you create, you reuse this Genially, you embed your own content, and these escape rooms are already made. There's a video game themed escape room, history breakout. And like Matt mentioned before, you can take these themes, and you don't have to do, if you like the way the history is written, but you want to use it for art or you want to use it for music, just change the words, change everything in there. You don't have to use it the way it's done. You can make it your own. But again, this uses a video game theme, and you put in your own content, and then all of a sudden the kids are playing a video game, doing an escape room, and it's all of a sudden they're into it, and they're doing the same thing you would have done on a worksheet, and they're all into it and excited. So that's the video game. You can see the theme is super fun and engaging. And then, yeah, you've got the little guys, and this is all within Genially. All of these little pieces, all of these little parts are in there. You could change it around. You can make it, you can add a picture that would help them solve a clue. It's up to you. You can, and then it's got, these ones even have music in there that, that goes along with the theme. And then when they get to it, then they get a congratulations, and you can assign point values. It's up to you, kind of sky's the limit. And then we have the history and then mystery breakout. And the mystery one is pretty open-ended, so you could use that really for anything. And again, add your own stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to be over here shooting Space Invaders. So you all just go, take care of things on your own.
It's so fun, right?
Right.
So these are escape rooms that we have at Ditch That Textbook created with Genially.
Don't say we. This is
Okay,
Carly. Carly's made them.
I might have made them, but with Matt's excitement right behind me for doing this. Out of all these ones, and I love the Mission School Blackout Junior. Junior's obviously a little bit easier, but the Harry Potter one was the first like really big escape room that I created with Genially, and I'm a big fan of that one because it was just fun to make. I mean, how cool is it that this is part of my job to help teachers is to create something like this, this for you that you can use with your students. So you just open it up, give them the link to the Genially, and let them go and see what they do. If you go to our Ditch That Textbook / digital escape rooms, the answers for these are on there. So if you need the answers to these, you can find them there.
Yeah, a little short link that'll get you there real easily. You can go to ditch.link/escape. Ditch.link/escape will get you to all of our digital escape rooms that we've made. And by our, I mean that Carly made. So, and speaking of escape rooms, we've got an escape room that we want you to try that includes a prize that you can win with it. Right, Carly?
So this is our Tech Like a Pirate Escape to Tech Lab Island escape room, and we encourage you to try it. You can play it right here in this presentation, or if you click try it, it will open it up in a new window. So you can make it a little bit bigger, or you can click full screen here. But you're going to go through this escape room, try it out. And again, a big part of escape rooms that I like to tell my students or any participants is part of it is productive struggle.
Yes.
It might not be, you might think you have the right answer, and then when you go to do it, it might not work. So make sure that, try this out, especially if you're going to be doing escape rooms with your students. Try it out first so that you can kind of see what it's like for them. And this kind of goes through some of the parts of Tech Like a Pirate, and you can see what that book is all about, and it gives you a little bit of dive into that. But try it out, and then there's a prize at the end.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, go give it a shot. Try that one out, and then you can go redeem your prize. We've got a prize for everybody. Anybody that does it will get a prize at the end. So that wraps it up for us. There's our contact information right there on the screen. Feel free to reach out to us if you've got questions about anything that you've seen in the presentation or need anything else, or if you just want to show us what you've what you've been able to do at Genially. We're super curious and interested. And we hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. Go try out that escape room if you haven't already. And hopefully we'll catch up with you on the website or in another virtual presentation or something in the future. So for Carly Mora, I'm Matt Miller. We've enjoyed doing this presentation for you, and take care, and we'll see you in the next one.
Hello. Well, mind blown again, right? Mind blown again.
Fun.
So many ideas, so many examples, so many templates. I am in love. What a way to end today.
See, now you're a fangirl too. And
Yeah.
there's so many
I just became one.
people in the chat box. We have Heather Brown's in there, and Amanda Fox showed up, and we have Rochelle. Like, it's like,
I know.
it's like
ed tech heaven.
All over again. Oh, look at all these people. This
Paradise.
is incredible. I am so excited. Well, we can't forget.
Great day.
We can't forget to announce our winners.
Oh, no, we can't. You are right. No, we can't.
We have winners. Winner.
Amazing. Okay, let's see who the lucky winners are today. And for those
I have
here,
2
can you,
pairs. Sorry. What?
does it help you see better or worse when there's 2 of them?
Neither. Okay,
Okay,
so
who do we have? The winners are dun, 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 dun,
woo-hoo!
dun, dun. I should
I get
really
so
add some
excited
music to this. Dun,
for the
dun, dun, dun. Okay,
competition.
ready? 3,
I am ready.
2, 1.
Winners are
Congratulations
ba, ba,
to
ba. Some
Amanda
usernames
Diluyo,
that's hard to say.
19, and Beast Tech Buzz. You
That's
are the
fun. I
lucky
know
winners.
her.
Yeah,
She
okay.
has
You know
the cutest
everyone.
Southern accent and gave me the best hug at ISTE. Yay! She's
You
been
know everyone. Well,
no.
congratulations to you both. I'm going to be sending you a DM on Twitter so you can redeem this. And as a reminder, everyone who's been tweeting or sharing out on their social media platforms moments from EdFest, whether it's photos of the event, screenshots, creations they've made that you've made, and then tagging Genially EdFest and no, putting the hashtag Genially EdFest. Oh man, and tagging the presenters.
You know what? It's
Keep it
okay.
up.
We're at
Keep
2
it up. You're
AM.
in for tomorrow's. I know, dude.
2
I
AM. I'm so
am,
impressed. I mean,
and
I have no excuses.
and the excitement is really keeping me going. I'm pretty impressed, honestly, by this whole event and by the turnout and all of you. So thank you, and
I am
congratulations to you both.
Yes, congrats. And yeah, remember, I think you already said this to make sure that you keep posting, even if you are watching the replays, because you can still win tomorrow. And
Exactly.
yeah, and we also have
Exactly.
the coupon, right? The
Oh, we have a
50%
discount
off.
code. Let
Yeah.
me share an image for that. There we are. All
Okay,
right, what can you
so
tell us?
well, we with EduPro 50 Fest, you can use it at checkout for 50% off and download your participation certificate for 8 hours. There should be a link in the chat. So,
Yes, keep your
and
eyes
a lot of
peeled.
people have
That
been
should be
asking
dropping.
about replays. A lot of people have been asking about replays, and I believe you will send them out in a couple days in your
Correct.
newsletter. So
We'll send them
sign up for
out.
those.
They're also, everything stays up on YouTube, so you have those links from the microsite, which I can share again here, and we will be setting everything out in the newsletter after EdFest.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we're kind of coming to a close, man. Another amazing day at EdFest. Day 2,
Oh,
what a success. I'm so grateful, honestly. Like I really, really,
I am too. I am
I've been
beaming,
amazed
and
by today.
I'm still in the chat box over here having fun with all these wonderful people that I'm fans of. But I want to thank you and Genially for allowing me to come play with you all. This has been such an honor, and
And we'll be
I'm
playing
so grateful.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
We'll be
we're
playing
gonna be
tomorrow.
playing in
Erica
my
and I
kids' room.
will be exploding the chat box and your screens tomorrow, day 3. We'll be talking about teaching for our future. We have a really cool mix of sessions tomorrow that cover
Yes.
student-centered learning, skills we can give them for the future, and how to utilize universal design principles. And we'll also be taking a quick look at the Genially Google Classroom add-on. And we have amazing speakers with us. For example, tomorrow we have Rochelle Dene Poth, who was with us in the chat today. I know we also have Jaritza Villalba from Flip. We're going to have the add-on session, and then we have Ashley Callahan from Avid and Laura Guillon. So I'm really, really excited for that. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, if you can handle us for another day, I'll be back. She'll be back, and we thank you so much for being here and playing with us. That was really, really fun.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.